What's up, folks? Well, listen, I apologize for the delay. Unfortunately, when you go out remote, you have to rely on the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi sometimes causes issues. So I am hearing myself in echo delay. So hopefully you guys can see the stream just fine. But we are live here from Tampa Joe's in Tampa, Florida, 9316 Anderson Road in beautiful Tampa, Florida. We are right, like I said, about 5 minutes away from the airport. And today we'll have on, of course, my co-host, Mike Fuji, and from Steel City Renegades, Lee Money will be with us to talk about the upcoming Pittsburgh game. So we hope that the audio and everything else looks just fine. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but this is episode 109, and I will flip the cameras here shortly so you guys can kind of see the outdoor patio, and then you'll be able to see where the outdoor setup is set up for the pep rally. So with that being said, let's get the show underway. I'm Angel. This is episode 19 on Broad Street South. And now, once again, as I hear myself and echo, it's going to drive me a little bit nuts, but everybody just kind of hanging there with me. The Godfather that he knows I cannot do the show without him. Here he is, Mike Fuji. Fuji, what's happening?
24 hours till we take over Ray J. The gangrene invasion is coming. The Eagles are bringing it. Look out, Tom Brady. Look out, Tampa Bay Bucks. Angel, how are you? Let's get this pregame tailgate party at Tampa Joe's rocking with the sports guy, Jamie, the Philly sports guy, Vince, Mike, and the whole crew from Philly of the South. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, and I'm hoping that everybody here shows up because we're waiting for the rest of the gang to show up. Rob has actually been out here setting up for 97.5 The Fanatic. He came out as early as I did, and so that's the great thing that he's already got everything set up. So we're waiting for Jamie and the rest of the crew to show up. But if I end up having this little camera right here so you guys can end up seeing, this is the outdoor patio of what you guys can see, and it's starting to fill up here on the outdoor patio. And believe it or not, I arrived here about, I want to say, by 11 o'clock in the morning, and people already started coming in. So this pep rally should be pretty massive here as the festivities kick off at 3 o'clock. We're doing the pre-tailgate party here at Tampa Joe's. And as you guys can see, Rob there walking in the distance. But we're hoping as everyone comes on, they'll be able to catch the interview here on the other side. And switch cameras here because if I keep adding more, I'll just get more echo. But it's fine because I'll take that camera out and then you guys will be able to see where the rally area is actually going to be set up as well. So I can't wait. This is going to be fantastic for today. I'm hoping all the Eagles fans will end up showing down here, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We got more people flying in as I can hear once again the aircraft flying above me. So this should be really, really good game. And again, we have, I think, one Buck fan way out on the other side of the corner. So I might be able to get him on so he can give me his thoughts about what he believes the Bucks are going to do. The only one that's here, and it was actually surprised, and it's an Eagles bar. So it was fun to see his reaction.
Bring him to the feast.
I plan on doing so. I see the comments already coming in, and I see one here from Eli Goldstein. Any giveaways, Eli, as of that I know of, there may be, but I'm not 100% certain because again, that's done on the bar side. So there might be some giveaways. I'm not 100% certain. It'll get once it's closer to the pep rally time, then I can give you a better answer, Eli. But thank you for tuning in. Tom, Tara, how are you guys? I hear it's freezing back home. It's 75
degrees. It's about 20.
Yikes.
What if the game was up here with Tampa? Well, I'm not even going to get into that history. I'm not going there.
No, just don't go there. It'll be just fine. But I want to add here to the stream, my other brother from another mother that we do from 7 to 9, usually on Sunday nights. It is the Steel City Renegades with Lee, MF, and Money. And it is Lee. What's going on, brother? Oh, look, and Dave in the background. Dave Wallencheck, the boys in the house. What's going on, fellas?
Absolutely, Angel. Thank you for letting us come in and enjoy this with you. Fuji, what is up, my man?
What is going on? Are you guys ready to knock Mahomes around and go into Kansas City and steal another week for Big Ben or what?
Hey, listen, I sure hope so. Me and Lee were having lunch because we had to go drop papers off for the Piston Power Show that Angel will be coming in for. And I was like, what's going to happen if we do like we did when Bettis was retiring and we go and win every game and go to the Super Bowl?
Man, I don't know what would happen, Dave, because there's a lot of people out there, especially people that we know, that would just be like, really? Did that seriously just happen? Is Big Ben really going to retire with ring number 7? But I mean, it would be so great because we could just sit there and just be like, ha. I don't know if our board works while we're on their show, but we can try it. I mean, it would just be phenomenal. But, I'm a little optimistic about this game. I want the Steelers to win, obviously, just to shove it in the face of everybody that doubt us. But they are the Chiefs, and we have to take that into account.
Listen, we'll be shoving it into our own face because we doubted them from week number, I think, 11 on, because we haven't played great football. And,
we have not.
And the Chiefs blew us out before, and they didn't just blow us out. They spanked our ass. They spanked us pretty good, and hopefully we learn from that.
We got to tap pretty heavily. Well, the coincidental thing is, with both teams, we're both, with Eagles are playing the Bucs, and Steelers get a rematch against the Chiefs. So, sometimes these games shift differently than what they were during the regular season. It's happened that way in the past.
That has happened definitely in the past. I'm putting up the past. And again, if you guys are talking, unfortunately, I get a lag delay here as far as the audio. So I apologize for that. But Sean says, "What's up, guys? I want to see Gainwell in the slot. Rager, who also give Hundley some more carries as well. Key to the game, run the ball." Everybody keeps saying run the ball, and I believe that would be the case, but I want to get to Pittsburgh here shortly as well. And Sean follows up with, I still say the weather they're calling for, it's rainy, windy for the most part, but it keeps saying it's going to get better. So we'll see exactly what's going to be happening. Hopefully the rain will come in and will go in overnight, and it'll be just fine. So I don't know. I'm going to take a wild guess and hope that everything will come through. That little clipper will move on. That way we can get the tailgate party tomorrow with Philly Sports Trips with 97.5 The Fanatic and everyone else involved kicked off without a problem. Today, though, it is 75 degrees out here in Tampa, Florida, and I cannot argue as far as the weather because it is absolutely phenomenal.
Well, the thing of it is, tomorrow, right now, the Eagles got 5 running backs on the roster. They got activated Jason Huntley, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders coming back with that broken hand, Jordan Howard, drawing a blank.
Did you say Miles
and
Sanders?
Kenny Gainwell, my mistake. I said right now the Eagles got 5 guys right now that can run the ball, but I don't know if all 5 will be activated. Because right now, as an update came through just a little before we came on the show, Josh Sweat is questionable, and so is Nate Herbig as far as illness, but not COVID related. So I'm sure Josh Sweat will play. So, I mean, they definitely need Josh Sweat on that end, on that opposite side of Derek Barnett.
But that's where we're hoping for to see exactly what ends up happening. And again, we'll get a little more into a little bit later on. Mike says, looking good. See you guys soon. Go Eagles. We are your Philly to the South here.
Angels
and great banner just on the other side here, so no one can miss out exactly where we are. But I want to get back to my brothers from another mother here from Steel City Renegades. And I want everyone to check out Steel City Renegades on Facebook, number 1. Number 2, please visit redlineradio.llc.com. You can request a particular song, if I do remember correctly out there, as they do have their radio station set up. And you can also hear and view all their shows, which is a great lineup. And they continue to add more and more to not only Redline Radio side, but the Redline banner side. And I appreciate and love it very much because we've had so much fun the first season for Steel City Renegades. And as I lead into that, the big thing is I did mention, and it almost did happen to both of you guys, the Steelers could have almost pulled off the division at the very end. Thanks to Cincy winning, right? Unfortunately, they came up 1 game short. But I've been hearing this week on the media are we seeing the Steelers of old? Meaning some people are believing that they can take on KC and beat KC. So I want to start with you guys. Either Dave or Lee, you guys can take the lead on this one first. But do we see the Steelers moving on past KC?
Do you want to start, Dave, or you want me to start?
Go ahead, Lee. You could start, and then I'll go.
All right. So, I mean, we've seen this before. I mean, they came into Super Bowl 40 with a very similar record, very similar situation when Jerome Bettis was retiring, and Ben came up to them and said, hey, let's win this one for Jerome. Let's give him the send-off he deserves. And I'm wondering if almost like the same thing isn't happening this time. Isn't happening again. Like, I mean, we all know that history tends to repeat itself, and when it comes to the Steelers, it's always when somebody prominent is getting ready to leave the team. I would love to see the Steelers of old come in here and whoop on KC, especially get some revenge for that 36-10 shellacking earlier in the season. It would be awesome. I mean, could we see it? I mean, when we went to Pittsburgh for the final home game, for Ben, we all thought the Browns were probably going to whoop them then. And then they turned around and did a 26-14 whooping on the Browns. And, I mean, it caused the midget that wears number 6 for that team that plays in First Energy to decide to go and get shoulder surgery that he needed since game 2 of the season. So, I mean, stranger things have happened, and especially with the Steelers. So, yes, I'm very optimistic that they might be able to pull this off. But where do we go after round 1? I mean,
Lee, absolutely. Lee, absolutely. And, anything is possible any given Sunday. But we're not up against that Indianapolis Colts team this time. We're up against the powerhouse, the defending AFC champions. How ironic is it to have them in your first playoff or Ben's last playoff game?
Right.
I mean, maybe his last playoff game. Let me reword that because you don't know. I mean, hopefully they go in with some kind of offense because we know how the Matt Canada offense runs, dink and dunk, and I'm not happy about that. And Najee, we don't know if Najee's playing because elbow hurt last week or 2 weeks ago against the team that plays in First Energy. And there's a lot of talk that Juju Smith-Schuster might be back. I mean, he made his first practice this week, and we'll see what's happening with that. But in order for us to beat this Chiefs team, you have to allow Patrick Mahomes to be Patrick Mahomes, but you can still beat them. You got to double team Tyreek Hill and not let Kelsey break away from these guys and get touchdowns. You can't do that because if you do that, it's going to be a blowout. I was telling Lee at lunch, we need to score 10 points at least in the first quarter. If we're down 14-10, I'm okay with that. Our defense has stepped up the last couple games to put us in spots where we can win. TJ Watt is on a mission, man, so he should be Defensive Player of the Year. He should be, but that's yet to be determined. Hopefully we're here talking on next week about the Steelers, but if not, I didn't think they would make the playoffs. I didn't want them to make the playoffs, but you're here. I mean, you have a chance. Do I think it's a big chance? Absolutely not. I think it's a small chance, an 8% chance that they beat Kansas City in Kansas City. But if they do that, that is a big boost of confidence. If you do that in Arrowhead versus that high-powered offense, the sky is the limit then. The sky is the limit. The other game, I want the Raiders to beat Cincinnati. I'm a Raiders fan. That's my second favorite team. I was hoping for them last week to go out and beat my boy Justin Herbert, but it took us to overtime. And let's talk about the bonehead play of the year. Okay, bonehead play of the year. Both teams were going to go to the playoffs. All you had to do was do the tie, and Staley calls a timeout. Calls a timeout and sends Pittsburgh to the playoffs. Thank you, Staley. We appreciate your gift. Hopefully your gift takes us to the Super Bowl. Do I think we'll win? I mean, do I want us to win? Yes. Do I think we will? I don't think so. I don't.
Well, we'll see here. Now, I want to pause you guys here for a second only because something just went down. There you go. So one thing is a couple comments here that I want to make sure I quickly get to. And it's hard to see here with the shadow coming off. But I did see where Rick Marcus did say where the Eagles are landing, estimated at 3 o'clock here, American Airlines 9745. Also, Kathleen, as always, from Eagles Mania, Fly Eagles Fly. And I did see John Wagner did, okay. Kathleen also says that I believe the Eagles wear down the Bucs defense, keep Brady off the field, run the ball. Eagles 27-24. And John, this is a comment I want to get back to. It says, where is pep rally? So the pep rally is here. Well, yeah, pep rally's here at Tampa Joe's 9316 Anderson Road. And if you guys can see the camera I have up there that I've been switching back and forth, that's where the pep rally is going to be out there, where the tent and the barricade is. So the DJ just arrived to get ready to set up. That starts at 3 o'clock along with the John Kincade. So I want to make sure you guys know that over there to my left, as you guys can see, I guess it will be towards your right, that's where the actual pep rally area is going to be. Then the other camera I had set up is where the outdoor patio is, and then you got the bar restaurant on the inside. So I want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what's going on. Also, Tim Buck2, thank you for tuning in. I do see you. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. Dylan says, of course, go Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you see what else he said?
Nah, I'm about to get into it there. But EAGLES, Eagles fly. Kathleen, let's go Eagles. And here's the other comment here by Dylan. He says the Eagles will be looking to the British Army, the Pirates of the Caribbean. The ship gets hit by the cannons and sinks. Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Scott, kind of funny. Your ship's going to go down when those cannons go off and go down like the Titanic. With
Exactly.
Tom Brady driving it right into the iceberg. We'll see you next year.
John Wagner says the Birds, I'm not supposed to be where they are today. I'm going to go great next year for them. It's going to be great next year for them with 3 first-round picks. That is absolutely true, John. Absolutely true. Al, what's going on? And Sean says if Joshua doesn't play Sunday, who do you think needs to step up on the defense? I'm going to go with Milton Williams. Sean, we're going to answer that here in a second. We're going to go back here to our guys out there in Pittsburgh. But listen, Dave, I agree exactly with what you said. I think we've talked about it over and over on Steel City Renegades. And by the way, you guys can watch the show tomorrow night from 6 to 8 before the Pittsburgh KC game. So tune in to Redline Radio over on Facebook, 6 to 8, Steel City Renegades. And I will say I would try to make it out there. Of course, we're here at 1 o'clock over at the game at Ray J. So hopefully I'll make it home in time to get on with you guys, because if I'm not at the game, then I'll be back here at Tampa Joe's, and then as soon as the game's over, I'm beeline back home so I can make sure I get on there with you guys. But as far as getting back to the Steelers here, it's the same way. We've talked about our team all season long, and we saw what Ben had done. That Ben thought he was going to play his last game at Heinz Field. What was that, week 16? Because their last game was on the road, correct?
Yep. We played Baltimore.
That's true. So you figured that he was going to play his last game. He's been fortunate enough to see yet another game. And we've seen the Steelers, just like the Eagles almost simultaneously, is a stagnant first half. In order for both of these Pennsylvania teams to be able to move on, it's going to have to be a stronger first half than the comeback second halves. And the only reason why I say that, because along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we've seen the same exact things. The Tampa Bay's either started out really strong in the first half and to follow up in the second half, or it's been where it's been a slow start first half. And again, Tom Brady and crew come back on the second half. So I think, and Lee, I'm going to take this over to you here. Coming off the win that they've had, in order to make it into their playoffs, we saw that it almost ended up in a tie, which would have been utterly ridiculous, I think, because it basically would have been for the Steelers that would have been out. I would hope that obviously the Raiders weren't going to do that, and they turned around and decided to kick the field goal. But I think that would have been a major insult. I think in the NFL altogether, if it would have been one of those things, they still would have been in regardless of when it came to the tie. But thank God they ended up pulling off the win so the Steelers can get in there. So what do we need to see from this? I can't even say high-powered Pittsburgh offense, just like the Eagles. But what do we need to see from the Steelers here in the first half?
In the first half, we need to see what we haven't seen for most of the season, and that's them scoring points. I think the first game that I saw them score points in since the middle of the season was the game against Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Other than that, I mean, basically it needs to be like we've been saying all season, the tale of two Steelers teams. We need that Steelers team that always shows up in the fourth quarter to show up for 4 quarters of football, not just that final quarter, or else the Chiefs are going to put a shellacking on us yet again. And I really don't want to see Ben go out like that. I'd like to see Ben get some kind of hoorah. But, I mean, like Ben said on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, we're 12-point underdogs. We're not even supposed to be here. We're just going to have fun. Well, hopefully that fun translates to points.
Come on. As your leader and you going out, you should not be saying that, Ben. Come on, dude. Like, any team has a chance in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs. I mean, you shouldn't be saying that. Yeah, are we not supposed to be there? Abso-freaking-lutely, we're not supposed to be there. But come on, Ben. You are the leader, the man of this team. Besides the head coach, they look up to you. You should have never came out and said that. It pissed Deontay Johnson off. It pissed off some people in the locker room. Don't say that, dude. Any given Sunday, you can beat that team. How we do it is you execute on offense early. You get in the end zone early. None of these field goals. Every time you're in the red zone, you have to put it in there for 6 points. You can't do that. You got to pull out all stops. You can't be there. If it's a 4th and 4 and you're down 5, 6, you got to go for it. Take your chances. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So don't be conservative on play calls. Push it down the field now. I mean, Ben, you're going to have to play one of your best games. And if you can't do it, Ben, then sorry. Your swan song is over, or your swan song is over. You had a great career. You just got to play all out. You got to take this team, put it on your back, and carry them through the playoffs if you can beat these guys. You can beat them if you play the proper way. Matt Canada, you got to mix these guys up. You got to get Deontay Johnson involved. If Juju's playing, you have to get Juju in the middle of the field because we can beat them in the middle of the field. Defense, you can't allow these guys to get 10, 15, 20, 30, 40-yard catches. Pringle beat us last time. So did number 11, Robinson, and so did Tyreek Hill. You can't. They have all the offensive weapons. We have just, if not better weapons, we have weapons that are capable of having big games. If Juju comes back and has a big game, that's what this team needs. That's confidence. He's your leader for your wide receivers. We've been talking about it all year since he left. Who they going to sign? Who they going to sign? You just got to take it one play at a time, one down at a time, one quarter at a time, because you never know what can happen. But Ben, as a leader, you should never come out and say that. Don't give up on your team and say, hey, we don't have a chance in this. Well, anybody's got a chance on any given night. All you got to do is execute the plays, and hopefully Mike Tomlin woke up from his nap that he missed the final minute of the game, and he made these guys practice this week. Hopefully.
We'll see. Listen, all strong and good points, I will say, because you're absolutely on point as far as what's staying there. And then again, we're hearing all kinds, and the offseason is not even here yet, but we're hearing all kind of swirling rumors with Aaron Rodgers and what was supposed to be to the Steelers maybe going somewhere else. But again, I'm not even going to go there in that route because I think what's going to actually happen is I believe that Aaron will end up in Pittsburgh. I think it comes down to, again, the relationship between Mike Tomlin and himself. But I think there's going to be a lot of good talks. The only thing that I wonder, guys, is let's just say hypothetically, obviously we want the Eagles to win here so they can move on. But what happens, let's just say, if Green Bay ends up winning the Super Bowl, at that point, there's two questions. One is that he decides to retire and rides off to the sunset, or then do 30 other teams, maybe in the NFL, come calling.
Here's how I look at that, and I'll let you go real quickly after me. Here's how I look at that. If he somehow, some way takes the Packers to the Super Bowl, I think he still leaves, and he's given everything he could to Green Bay and say, hey, I got you guys a Super Bowl. I've done everything I could here. Now it's time for me to move on. That's just my opinion with Aaron, what I think with Aaron, because Aaron's different. You never know what Aaron Rodgers is doing. I still think he leaves Green Bay. There's a lot of talk that him and Ted Thompson has reconciled and came to an agreement. But, you drafted Jordan Love. What are you going to do? I mean, you could trade Love and probably get 2 first-round draft picks from him. I don't know. That's a good question. Or is Aaron going to retire and just go take the seat at Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's a huge point too. I keep forgetting about the Jeopardy thing, but you know, we had Adam Bittner from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette on our show last week, which was originally going to be the season finale until obviously what happened in the Raiders-Chargers games happened. But you know, he was saying that Pittsburgh is looking really high on Mason Rudolph still. And
Lee, I'm walking out of studio after you said that.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger, man. Shoot the guy from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, dude. I mean, Chipper and I had this look on our face like, are you effing serious right now?
I mean, we cannot move forward with that guy. No.
Yeah,
But go ahead, Lee. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you good. You know, so I mean, if that rumor is correct, that I think would be one of the biggest mistakes that the Steelers could ever possibly make would be to hand the keys to the kingdom over to Mason. I hit people in the head with my helmet, Rudolph, or I get hit in the head with my own helmet.
Yeah, not to cut you off, guys, but I mean, hasn't Mason Rudolph been there a couple years now? I mean, backing up Big Ben.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he has, and I mean, you know, but I mean, when we were looking at the preseason, it looked like Dwayne Haskins was outperforming Mason Rudolph, which was shocking to us that Mason even got the number 2 spot. We were hoping it was going to be Dwayne Haskins.
Fuji, let me ask you this question real quick. You brought up a point about him being there for a little bit. How'd that work out for Landry Jones? Landry Jones Mason Rudolph is the next coming of Landry Jones.
So do you guys?
I will personally drive to Pittsburgh, pick up Mason, and take him anywhere he wants to go outside of Pittsburgh.
Oh, I mean, besides the whole Aaron Rodgers thing, you know, all these rumors you hear this time of year, end of the season. Who else do you think the Steelers may have in mind to go after? I mean, via the draft or free agency, trades?
They're good question on there. There's a few points, and I know Lee has his people, and I have mine. Here's what I would ultimately like to happen. If it happens, it happens. Aaron Rodgers is my 1A, okay? If we can't get Aaron, then we somehow, some way try to get Russell Wilson. If we can't get Russell, then we keep going down the line. Kirk Cousins, number 3. Derek Carr, number 4. And number 5, who I think still can end up in Pittsburgh. And I think with the weapons we have, running game, wide receivers, sign another wide receiver, keep this name in mind. Mitch Trubisky in Pittsburgh next year, drafting Kenny Pickett or getting a quarterback, another quarterback late in the first round, and him sitting behind him for a couple years and learning the Matt Canada offense. Because as Chippard said, and I know that me and Lee have talked about this is an RPO offense that does not fit Ben. Have we seen the best of Matt Canada's offense? No. But here's my thing. If you have an RPO offense, you have a scrambling quarterback on your roster, Dwayne Haskins, who's got a big arm. If you need to push the ball down the field, why can't you bring him in for a couple plays? Why? I don't get it. Why can't you bring him in for a couple plays, push the ball down the field, let him scramble, get out of some of these sacks, take some pressure off Ben, give him a couple plays, see what he can do. I mean, you're not losing nothing by giving him a couple plays. You're not gaining nothing either. We don't know what the kid has. We don't know.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that's one thing. You know, Mitch Trubisky is a name that's definitely on my list. But Tom Fogarty here says, do you think Pittsburgh would take Pickett? And then right underneath that, Sean Kilrain says, I see the Steelers drafting Ritter from Cincinnati. Riddle. I'm thinking Batman Riddler. I see Pickett, you know, because he's the pick guy. I think he would fit really well in Matt Canada's offense. But Ritter would definitely fit this offense too. That, like we were talking about, that RPO style offense, it definitely does fit a more mobile quarterback. Dave?
Absolutely. I agree 100% with that. I mean, you got to have a quarterback now in the NFL that's mobile, that can give you two things. He can run and he can throw the football. If you can't get both of that, then you don't have the right quarterback. Look at the quarterbacks that came out. Even Marcus Mariota, keep an eye out on him. Mm-hmm. Marcus Mariota would be my 6th choice. I mean, we don't know. I mean, Pickett.
Oh.
I want Pickett in the draft. I'd like to get Aaron Rodgers, but if you don't get Rodgers, I just named you 5 other quarterbacks that I think that can fit Pittsburgh and that we can afford.
Yeah, Sean actually did just ask, but yeah, we said Aaron Rodgers for sure. Deshaun Watson. Kirk
I'm on live. I'm
Cousins,
going to have you on
Mitch
here momentarily.
And then what was the 5th name you said?
And Mitch Trubisky, and then I said
Russell Wilson.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota as well. Yeah, so I mean, any of the 5 quarterbacks that look like they're going to be up for trade or possibly even free agency, obviously we definitely would want any of those 5. But I mean, I definitely think we need to get one of those 5 and then draft Pickett as well, either Pickett or Ritter.
Hey guys, here's something that came out today, and I was reading this article. With Judy getting fired over in Houston, he's the one that wanted to get rid of Watson. Brian Flores is the front runner for that job. Flores wanted Watson in Miami. So now does Watson stay in Houston? If he does, that changes the draft. That changes everything.
I mean, it does, right. But I mean, at the same time, we still don't know what or how Houston feels about those alleged.
Have you heard anything? Heard anything? Okay.
No,
then it's
exactly.
It's water under the bridge. Move on. Bring Deshaun Watson back out. There you go.
I don't disagree with you, but
no,
I mean,
I know. I'm just telling you.
I mean, I don't know how.
NFL.
Right? No, exactly, and that's the whole thing, and that's the one thing that we keep hearing. If the Texans had decided to activate Watson, would the commissioner have stepped in and suspended him and put him on the commissioner's list? We don't know. So I think that's why it was a big risk for teams to try to take him this year. But next year, if the Texans do want to move on, get the hell out of Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and if you have the opportunity to get Watson, who would not want Deshaun Watson? Who would not want him? You put him with 4 or 5 teams in the NFL, they go to the Super Bowl. You put him with that New Orleans Saints team, they're going to the Super Bowl. You put him with that team that plays in First Energy, they have a possibility of going to the Super Bowl. Yep. You put him with who else needs a quarterback? Minnesota, they go to the Super Bowl from the NFC. I think
there's a good amount of teams out there that want a quarterback. I mean,
oh yeah, for
sure.
You
know, every a lot of teams in this league are so desperate for a quarterback, they're probably willing to give up a king's ransom.
You know, and you got to think this would be the year to try to lock up as many quarterbacks as you can, because in 2023 you have the USFL and the XFL both coming back.
No, the USFL comes back this year. They start in February, the week after the Super Bowl. They're already doing commercials for it.
Yeah, so I mean that's just going to dilute the quarterback pool even more.
Well, I'm sure anybody that was a journeyman could go to the XFL or the USFL and get a job instantly.
Yeah, you can take Mason Rudolph all you want.
Yeah, bye. I mean, Landry Jones worked out pretty well for Seattle in the XFL.
Touchdown Tommy played in the XFL. There you go. Tommy Maddox. Everybody forgot. Big Ben took over for him.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't forget about that touchdown Tommy Maddox. I mean, great pickup for us. He wasn't good as. I mean, he was decent for us. Got some playoff wins. Got a Super Bowl ring and an XFL ring. Kudos to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Former Denver Bronco to Dan Reeves drafted.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that comment at all from Dylan.
What did he say?
If Watson comes out still, he might get booed in Houston. Time to start over.
Well,
it could be a possibility.
It's definitely going to be an interesting offseason.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, Mike, if Angel is not available tomorrow night, that offer to you to come on Steel City Renegades is definitely still on the table.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm seeing here as we're speaking, Q105 here, the local FM station just pulled in, and Jamie, the Philly sports guy, is here as well. So, man, boy, he talking about hold on for a second. Let me switch the cam here so the folks can see. Oh boy, now it's gonna get time to get fired up here.
That it is.
Maybe it's easier if I don't put them on so that somebody else can put them on later.
Give me 1 second, Jimmy.
Whoa!
Hey, you nut. How the hell are you? Yeah, chug it down real quick. Chug it down the hatch real fast.
I guess the headphones this way so you'll be able to hear, unless you want to keep going from there. The only thing is you won't be able to hear anybody.
Other people call in and stuff. Oh, everybody else is on.
Yeah, everybody else is on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. As I'm thinking about this, I'm just going to leave them.
Don't mess up that mohawk, though, bro. That thing's epic.
Hey, you look like the missing link from the AWA.
What's up, bro, man?
How you feeling, brother?
Pretty good. Ready to rock. Let's go.
Exactly. I'm just getting warmed up here. Like I said, it's a slow build right now.
Exactly. Listen, the Philly sports guy, first of all, he represented not only that. First day one down here was a Wednesday night when you arrived?
No, I showed up Thursday morning.
So you got Thursday morning when he was here. Then you were here Thursday night representing with Mike Klein, which he should be showing up here momentarily.
Yep.
On top of that, then we were out here yesterday morning with Fox 29, Chris Connolly. So that was fun yesterday morning. We ended up getting riled up with the 6 of us or so that were out here. These fans, PSG, have been filing in since like 11:30 this morning. So this is just the folks that are out right now. Could you imagine just over your right shoulder what's going to end up looking like over there? It's going to be absolutely insane in this place today.
I fully expect it. I feel like that we're going to be hitting somewhere around 1,000 plus here. I mean, so everybody within. I was talking to somebody from Atlanta that just flew in, Eagles fan. I mean, I know that a bunch of people were coming in from all over the place. That Dallas contingent was coming. Some of the Minnesota contingent was coming. Some from all the way out west in like San Francisco area were coming in. So it's going to be crazy. So, and everybody within the Florida area, along with everybody from Philly sports trips and everything coming into town, it's going to be a blast. I expect, like I said, 1,000 plus.
Yeah, I think so too. The good thing is it's going to be in that, even though we expect for the weather to kind of make the turn for the worst come tomorrow overnight, the beautiful thing is it is absolute wall-to-wall sunshine right now. 75 degrees down here in Tampa compared to Fuji. What'd you say it was back home about 20?
Angel, you lost talk to
about
just
20
for the rest of the
show.
show.
Degrees.
Quit rubbing it in on the weather.
Well, you guys are in Ohio, right?
It's 21 degrees here in Brio, Ohio.
How far are you from Pittsburgh?
We're about 2
We
hours.
don't care.
Hey, we do.
Unless you're talking about the Bengals. You know, it's like nobody cares about Pittsburgh.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shots fired.
We
Shot
care about Pittsburgh a lot.
to the heart here, but listen,
Shots have been
PSG
fired.
as we've seen here, and we'll flip back here to the Eagles here momentarily, but we obviously tomorrow the pep rally will be, or sorry, the tailgate party will be tomorrow. The time it hasn't been announced yet. I think I'm waiting for Vince to see exactly what time that's going to end up kicking off.
9:30.
9:30. Okay. So for those who are going to be there tomorrow, we're going to be at Lot 14, which is directly across the street from Ray J. So I expect for that to be probably even just as crazy hype as what will be here later on today after 3 o'clock as the official party kicks off here at 3. We're just doing the pre-kickoff party before everything ends up starting. But looking into the game tomorrow, we know that so far the conditions are supposed to be, I guess, not great for what's supposed to be expected. Everyone wants for it to rain, but it's coming in during the overnight, and it's supposed to be done before the game starts. The tarp will be on the field, so I don't think it'll be as bad as everyone expects. The only bad part will be is the high winds come tomorrow because they're expecting 50-mile-an-hour gusts. So saying that, do we see the passing game from Jalen Hurts, or do we see the run game come into play for tomorrow?
I feel that they're going to start to try to do the run initially. 50 mile per hour winds, it's going to be even hard for Tom, even with his deflated balls, to be able to get them to receivers. So I think the run game is going to be important, and they're going to have to stick with it. I know typically, originally, that their game plan in the first half is usually to try to pass the ball. And then they come out in the second half, and they usually run, and then they're usually successful with it. So I kind of expect that they're going to keep with that formula. I just hope that they don't get too far down against Tampa Bay because it's going to be hard to come back. This is a team that was there last year. Obviously, they're the Super Bowl champions. So we don't want to be able to get down by 14, 17 points going into the half because that's going to be too much of a margin to try to make back up again. But I expect that they're going to try to do running plays. And if they're going to have to throw passes, it's going to be a lot of screens.
Right. And Bruce Arians just talked about he's not taking it the same way they did, obviously, when he beat them the first time around. It seems like the prepared plan that they have for them is a lot more contingent compared to, I guess, the win. They know that the Eagles have been different from the start that ended up having the beginning of the season to where they were at the end of the season. We know that Nick also decided to pause the guys to say it, not to really take them out from the game, but decided to give them the rest that they needed before they end up arriving here in just about an hour in Tampa. So I would expect that this team being so well rested, and we're hoping that the first half will be better than what we've seen in the stretch coming in here. The bad part is that we have a strong first half. The second half for the Eagles hasn't been as strong as we've seen in the first half. So do we hope for a balanced attack, but do we see at this point that the Bucs will end up matching? Because we've seen both teams, I discussed here with the guys before you arrived, we've seen both teams on the second half have bigger and stronger second halves. What do we expect from the Eagles as far as the first half? Are we expecting it to be slow, or do we expect it to be at least be a fast-paced offense now the guys that should be well-rested come into this game tomorrow?
I'd like for them to go quick. I'd like for them to do no huddles and such. I feel like that they were really effective with that, especially in the first half. So I would hope that they come out and they start off by just going play after play after play after play. Try to get that defense worn down quickly. On the defensive side of the ball, I'd like to see Gannon, and I know that we've only blitzed about 18% of the time throughout the entire year. I'd like for him to go on that first drive. If we're going to get beat, because Brady's going to get his, but if we're going to get beat, I'd like for him to blitz right away and get in Brady's face. But even if you don't go stick with it all that time and we get beat down the field and they score a quick touchdown, I want to show the blitz quick to get them a little bit off guard, because they're used to seeing us not blitzing at all. So get them a little off guard, change up their thought process a little bit, and then even if we hold back some moving forward, then at least they got their mindset. They're like, oh, well, they're blitzing us, and we need to pay attention to that. Beyond that, I think that the fact that he said that the coach Arians was saying that he's taking the Eagles differently and he's going to set up for them differently makes me think that he's going to start overthinking things. And I actually like that. So I'm ready for the Eagles to come in here and actually show Tampa a much different team, have them come at us a little bit of a different way. And who knows, maybe at the end of this, we're coming out with a W and heading on our way to Green Bay.
No, let's hope and see. Fuji, go ahead.
James, as you were saying, as far as like on the offensive side of the ball, don't you think Nick Sirianni has to get these receivers involved more? I mean, obviously set up the run, but you got to get these guys involved.
I'd like for them to do that, but my expectation is that our confidence is in our run game. And realistically, he only trusts Dallas and Devontae out there. So my expectation is that Devontae is going to get some of his. Dallas is going to definitely be the relief valve. And maybe Quez Watkins is able to break one or two. I'd love for him to be able to get that speed. That speed is going to be a big deal. Tampa Bay has had the biggest problem with speed. And if we can get around the corners and do those things properly, do those wide receiver screens and have the offensive line pull fast enough to get out there and get to the second level, we're going to start to be able to show that speed and be able to move the ball against Tampa. Our biggest thing is getting into the red zone and scoring touchdowns, not giving up 7 points for 3 points. We got to get our 7 points.
Well, it seems like to me the Tampa Bay defense, their Achilles heel is their secondary right now. So, as I said, why not
against the run?
Right.
No, it would be good to do that. I just don't trust. I don't trust his arm more than I do his legs. You know. Of course, I'm talking about Hurts there.
Eagles.
And we're just getting started.
Exactly.
Looks like the party's starting already.
Hey, listen, we've been waiting for the party to start here. So basically last week when the win ended up happening, so or at least a loss, but the win for us, obviously. So listen, I expect PSG again. This game, we know that Nick Sirianni not what was expected from a lot of the naysayers originally. No one believed in Nick. They thought that they couldn't understand this whole concept of why they decided to hire Nick. I know now, as of late, we hear it in the film market. We hear it obviously on ESPN, the NFL Network. The praises now Nick Sirianni's getting because it was a turnaround from the time he said, let's bring out the fertilizer, let's plant the seed, grow that flower. And even though people thought that was funny when he had said it originally, now they're looking back at it, and even the NFL Network this week brought up that quote, and they're saying, no, as goofy as it may seem at the very beginning, now it makes a lot of sense. So Nick Sirianni, I'm glad to see what he's done with his team. I didn't expect, I'll be honest, I expected at least a 9 to 10 win season, which they did end up doing. I didn't expect us in the playoffs only because it's a first-year head coach with no experience. But when we kept hearing about from Indy fans was that they were upset when Nick was gone. And now that he's finally here, again, he's getting those accolades that he deserves, well-deserved, because he's built this team to gel. And we've seen it, I keep saying over and over again, this is the same team that we saw in 2016 when everybody was at the same sheet music and they knew what the end result was going to be. So I'd like to get, your take. If, let's just say, the Eagles do end up passing the Bucs, which we're hoping for come tomorrow at 1 o'clock, what does this run continue? And do the Eagles then pass the divisional round and work on that NFC Championship game?
Well, you got to take one game at a time. So
right.
Let's go up to Green Bay. I'd love to be up in Green Bay next week talking to you about this same, where it's going to be, but we got to take care of the Bucs first. We can't look past them. This, like I said, these are the Super Bowl champions that we are going up against, the defending champions. So we're going to have to absolutely do whatever we can to get through this game. They did take the first game from us. We are a much different team. Like I said, the roots were just starting to grow back then, and now we got something that's poking through the soil. Although we haven't even gotten our trunk yet. So I would like us to be able to poke through that soil a little bit, come out through the day. Just us being here is a win for us. So I'm taking this in a realistic sense. All these guys are going to get the playoff experience that they would not have gotten. I did not expect 9 and 8 to make the playoffs this year. So I thought that we were going to be on the outside looking in. So the fact that we're in here right now and we have the opportunity to dethrone the defending Super Bowl champions is already a win in my book. If we happen to win this game, that's just extra gravy on top. And then we'll worry about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers next week. Because every time we play Green Bay, something weird happens. And sometimes most of the times we're up on top. So I'll worry about that next week. This week, I'm worrying about going to make sure I'm going to get in Tom Brady's head as much as possible.
Let
me ask you guys this question real quick.
Sure.
What would be the biggest upset? Pittsburgh beating Kansas City or you guys beating Tampa Bay?
I would say Eagles beating Tampa Bay.
Much bigger upset. Much bigger upset for the Eagles to do it. Although Pittsburgh has got Ben Roethlisberger, and I don't expect that they're going to beat Kansas City. It would be very interesting to watch both of them move forward this week and knock out both Super Bowl contenders last year. The participants.
Right.
That Pennsylvania comes out as a big winner. I'm not a big Pittsburgh fan. A lot of my followers that follow me are Pittsburgh Steelers haters. They're definitely hating on me all the time. So I don't have any love for Pittsburgh. And if you want to start talking about, I know switching sports, I hate the Penguins too, just as much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Besides that, if they both were to move forward, I think that would be great for both teams. I feel that. But out of the two, the Eagles are the bigger upset than Pittsburgh is.
Agreed.
We missed half of that due to the crappy Wi-Fi at the restaurant that you guys are at.
Yeah, what did he say?
No, so they're trying to be funny. They're saying they missed half of that because of what you're saying. They're saying because of the crappy Wi-Fi.
Seriously did miss half.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys ended up joking around. They said they ended up missing half of it, only because of the Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, it's been a lag delay, so they missed. What part of half do you guys end up missing?
probably the unimportant part where I was talking about Pittsburgh being a halfway decent team. That's probably what you guys missed. So I'm saying that it won't matter. Kansas City's going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're not going to. It's not going to even matter half of what I said. But it would be nice if both the Steelers and the Eagles knocked out both of the teams that played in the Super Bowl last year in the first round of the playoffs. And the Eagles would be the bigger upset.
Hey, you're absolutely right. We ain't as good as we should be. We're not even supposed to be here. We got lucky. Like I said earlier, Staley gave us the a gift. I mean, we got in the playoffs on a timeout called by the Chargers. I mean, we're not supposed to be here. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. We made the playoffs. We can put that in Ben's notch before he walks out of Pittsburgh and goes home and sits on his couch and watches next year. But I don't expect us to win. Do I want us to win? Absolutely, as a fan. But, I mean, if both of us get past this, what happens if it's a Steelers Eagles Super Bowl?
Battle of
very interesting.
Yeah.
Two wild cards duking it out for the state.
Two number sevens. I mean, that would be like the first time ever that happened. I mean, that's like a dream, because truth of the matter is that when it really matters, the Eagles always beat the Steelers. I know that the Steelers sometimes get a win here and there, but every time it really matters, the Eagles whip up on the Steelers. They are definitely. I know that, when you get out towards Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they all think I got all those rings and stuff like that. I think it's like they got this big case of penis envy.
Wait, I'm going to leave that one alone. You guys can take that one.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm in Ohio, so I mean, I don't really have that Pennsylvania problem that you're talking about. So we just know what team to root for in this part of Ohio. We're like 5 minutes away from the Browns training facility, and we flip it off every time we drive past it. So
let me ask you guys something. I don't think I ever knew anybody in Ohio that was a Steelers fan.
There's tons of us out here.
What makes you not like the Browns?
Who?
I mean,
who?
Exactly.
Thank you.
But let me ask this question: Do they have any thought process about Cincinnati? I know that it's on the other side of the state and what have you, but being from Ohio, does Cincinnati register anything?
I'm going to raise my hand right here. You see me? Can you see me? I raised my hand.
No, you can't see you.
Okay. So
I see
this guy right here picked Cincinnati to win the AFC North. I picked us to win the North.
Well, hey, there's a thing about being there's a thing about being a diehard and being a realist too. So
I'm going to just show you guys real quick. They come via trolley.
Uh-oh.
We're doing it
Looks
all
like your
here.
producer's real busy over there, Angel.
Here comes the boys. John, what's up, Jamie? Hi.
Got the 97.5 morning crew just showing up.
Yeah, boys are showing up now.
South producer
I'm going to full force.
Yeah, it was right here. You guys got a quick glimpse of the Bruce there on the side.
Yeah.
So she's in the house here.
Typical woman.
No, but so getting back to what we were saying here. So, that's right. They were going off on as far as the Steelers in Ohio, and then the actual envy here.
Well, and then we talked about Cincinnati for a minute, and I first off, because it's the first game today, I'm actually rooting for Cincinnati. I like Joe Burrows. After I watched him get sacked and get pummeled by the Eagles, and he kept getting up and shaking it off, that guy's going to be a real good player for a long time. And I'm rooting for him today to break the 31-year snide of Cincinnati not having a playoff win. And that ends the day with Joe Burrow.
Hey, listen. I'm a Burrow fan. I'm not as big a hater for Cincinnati as I am for that team that plays in First Energy. But my second favorite team is the Raiders for one reason and one reason only, because I'm a big Bo Jackson buff. So I like Bo Jackson. He played with the Raiders. I think the Raiders win this game. I think they beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati has not played good of late, but in the Raiders' defense, you better go stop Jamar Chase. Yep. Stop him. Stop Jamar Chase. Put 3 guys on him. Do what you got to do. Put 3 guys on him. But if Cincinnati
guy's definitely rookie of the year.
No,
if
that
Cincinnati
is.
wins, I wouldn't be mad at all.
That's true. No, you have to stop him. Yeah, absolutely right. You can't disagree when it comes to Jamar Chase. There's no way. And same way with Cincinnati. I would have never, honest to God, and PSG, you didn't notice, but from Steel City Renegades, when I told the guys before the actual season started, it was that Pittsburgh would actually end up taking a division, and they only lost it because Cincy ended up winning the week before. But to beat Cleveland, which is finally to get themselves into the playoffs, and obviously we need to make sure there wasn't a tie at the very end of the season for him to make it in. But Cincy, a very surprise start to wait and finish for that matter, but they're not done yet as far as getting the job done, what they need to get done. So Cincinnati could be a great possibility that they could make a run here for the AFC.
Well, that they're talking about that being a dark horse as going to the Super Bowl. I don't know that they're that strong. I think that they take a really big step here. They get to the second round.
Right.
And I think that Joe Burrows learns a lot, figures out exactly what he's going to need to do to move forward. And, next year, look out that Cincinnati's going to be, especially with Ben Roethlisberger being out of Pittsburgh. I don't think Cleveland is as close as they think that they are. And, who else is in that division? I don't even know. The Ravens who aren't, keep going for it instead of the extra point, go for 2.
Yeah, it's true. Now, the other thing that I want to mention here real quick, Cleveland. Obviously, at this point, they have to figure out what they're going to do. They keep Baker Mayfield and keep believing in him to see exactly if you can get him to the promised land. I believe that he can. I mean, other than, I don't know who Cleveland, if they decide they want to draft a quarterback this year, and there's not much coming out of this draft class this year. So does Cleveland stay with Baker, or did you move on from Baker Mayfield?
You stay with Baker. I think that he's was hurt this season, that affected a lot of what he was doing.
What?
Yeah, I say you stay with Baker. Plus, he's made that his home. I've seen all these commercials where he's shaving in the bathroom and doing all that stuff, getting coffee. That's his house. He's not going to move out of his house.
He's living under the confines of Jake by that stadium. He's living underground, behind the scenes. Having his groceries delivered and all that.
To stay, I would give him another year and figure it out from there. I don't think you move on from him this year. You're not going to get a quarterback out of this draft that's going to be able to start off really well. You're not going to get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson to go to Cleveland. You got somebody who likes being there, who wants to win, and I feel that that's hard to find in Cleveland.
Plus, he's coming off that shoulder injury too that he played through.
I got 3 letters for you guys, okay? And I want you to spell it out with me. B-U-M. He's a bum.
I take him over some of the trash in the NFL. Just some of these quarterbacks are flat out garbage.
So all right. So I've been reading something today that there's a possibility that Gardner Minshew could make his way into the AFC Central.
Who?
That there were 2 teams that were interested, possibly. The Steelers and the Browns.
True.
Would you take Gardner Minshew?
He's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got a problem with Minshew.
All right, so Gardner Minshew's okay, and Baker Mayfield's a bum?
Yes.
Wow.
I need to figure out your football credentials, because as of right now, I would say that you are way off base and just not making much sense. But that's okay. Hey, everybody's can have their own opinion. I'm just do not think that Baker Mayfield is worse than Gardner Minshew.
Baker Mayfield is not an NFL quarterback. He's not a top 20 quarterback.
Well, that's where I'll leave it at that. Let's, PSG, thank you for your time as you're representing their Philly Sports Trip there on the jersey.
Absolutely.
And thanks to Philly Sports Trips for making all this possible, along with the collaboration with us and Philly to South, obviously Tampa Joe's. But thank you. Don't go anywhere too far, though, because I'm going to bring Jamie on here momentarily, so don't go too far.
Absolutely. Bring Jamie on. I'm going to drink my beer. Go Birds!
Yeah. See you, PSG. Thanks for coming on. Probably didn't hear me.
Yeah, dude. What in here?
I need to get a rag.
All right,
Angel.
coming up here momentarily is going to be Jamie.
We got a couple of things we got to get ready because I'm supposed to be on at 4 today instead of 4 yesterday.
Yeah, he's going to get a rag so he can clean up the makeup there.
Is this your mobile unit?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have usually on the second screen here. I have it turned around with the as far as everything else here, but unfortunately because I usually have everything set up over here, and then I'll spin around that way everybody can kind of see themselves along with the webcam. But because I was having a problem with the Wi-Fi here originally, I couldn't get everything set up the way I wanted to. So next year, hopefully, they'll end up getting it on.
1 second, I will.
Shine us off.
Not yet, Angel. We're gonna take off too.
All right, thanks, fellas.
See you guys. Take
Let
care.
us know
Good
about
luck
tomorrow night. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now, from the John Kincade Show that you guys can hear from 6 to 10, Monday through Friday on 97.5 The Fanatic in Philadelphia. If you guys have the iHeartRadio app, you can listen right through iHeartRadio. You can listen through the exact website, take a link from there. But with that being said, we have one of the hosts here with Jamie Lynch. Jamie, first of all, welcome to Tampa.
Yeah, the weather here does not suck. That is confirmed. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It's pretty awesome.
What's going on, Jamie? How are you?
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Mike, Mike, turn your volume up a little bit, Mike, so you can hear you a little bit better.
Hold
There we go. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, Jay.
All right, there we go.
No,
Yeah, Tampa's gorgeous. This is awesome being down here.
I was saying thank you for coming on. Nice to meet you.
Oh, my pleasure.
That's Mike Fuji, our co-host.
Yeah.
But listen, yesterday, obviously, with the broadcast here yesterday morning from 6 to 10, you guys, as you talked about the sunrise coming up here from the east, and then you guys were able to see the sunset last night. You made it out. Did you guys end up getting out to the lighthouse?
Yeah, we went to the lighthouse on your recommendation. That's a cool little area down there. I had a beer in my hand and sitting by the water. I was in heaven.
You can't beat this. I'm going to tell you this much. I miss Philly at times, but being down here for the last 3 years, this is why you want to be down here. Because in January, 75 degrees, right? You can't get any better than this.
No.
And this is the only month that we get a break from like the super hot weather. Because come February, this is like where you guys are at right now. This is about the only 2 weeks in the actual entire winter month. We're actually cooler than usual. Normally, we're looking at about 80 degrees. In February, we'll start hitting the 80s. By March, we're already close to 90 degrees.
Jeez.
And it's a heat wave all the way through to like October, November of next year.
Wow.
So
I was talking to my wife back home, and she said it's about 15 degrees today. So she was quite jealous.
I'm up in Philly, and it's in the low 20s as we speak.
Yeah. This isn't bad down here.
There's nothing worse than the cold air. So I'm glad you guys are down here where it's nice and warm. Now, obviously, you guys going to be on here from 3 to 5 this afternoon, correct?
Yeah, we're going to be broadcasting here 3 to 5. And we're going to be hanging out for the entire pep rally until 7. I know our buddy Trey Thomas is coming by, so that'll be great. Really looking forward to seeing all the Birds fans down here.
Absolutely.
As I've been telling everybody here on the broadcast that we got here about 11 o'clock. The first set of fans started showing up at 11:15. So you talk about some diehard fans. I mean, they're waiting for this to be set up out here.
Yeah.
So then we can put the caged animals out here. But it's a whole different story. And I will tell you this much. Obviously, from your visit down here to Tampa Joe's, obviously it's a beautiful bar and restaurant down here in Tampa, Florida. But I will say that the fan base down here is completely different from the lake. Now, you get times where they can get rowdy, especially on the inside of the bar when it comes game day. So tomorrow, because everyone will be at the game, you guys won't be able to see it. but you get the same kind of feel mentality down here, even with the local fans that have transplanted from Philly and Jersey and Delaware. The expectation for tomorrow, taking that same fan base that lives here and turn it over to Ray J, we're hoping the same feels and the same vibes that we get from the link. And the only difference is that it tends to be a little bit quieter, but let that game get a little bit, I would say, under control instead of over control. Then we're going to see the actual true fans out there at Ray J. So we hope that everyone's here today, and we hope that everyone, if you're drinking, please Uber Lyft. Do not get caught down here, because in Florida, your first offense, 75 years on your license. Woo. So it's a tough one. But I want to get your take, because I know you guys are going to be going here shortly. What do you expect out of the Eagles tomorrow?
I expect a hard-fought game. I think they're going to run the ball extremely well. I think Sirianni did a complete 180 and realized what the strength of this team is. I don't see him getting away from that in this situation. Part of their best defense might be to keep the running game and time of possession in their control. And, Miles Sanders is a big question mark with his hand. How is he going to be handling the ball? So we'll find out. The Josh Sweat news is kind of concerning that he didn't practice yesterday. That's a real bummer because, I'm not revealing any secrets here. You got to hit Brady to have a chance. So he's probably your best natural pass rusher right now. And that could be a huge loss. But I expect a hard-fought game. I think they're going to come up just short, but I think there's going to be a ton of positive learning experiences for the coaches and a lot of these young players. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think Tampa's pumped that the Eagles are here. I think Tom Brady doesn't underestimate anyone, and I think he knows it's going to be a hard-fought, running, smash-mouth style of game.
Jamie. One thing, Rob Motti was asking a question to Tom Brady, I think it was yesterday afternoon, and he said, what a lot of fans have been talking about, I guess, over the years, is that he never shook Nick Foles' hand after the Super Bowl was over. And he almost tried to shrug it off like, we know sometimes I can be a big sportsman, sometimes not. But he said, I did shake his hands multiple times. He just never said that he shook it at the very end. But we're hoping, as I said before on the show here, that it's starting to kind of feel like 2017 all over again, even though we hope that the Eagles are going to pull off the victory tomorrow. But we know it's a long road to get back to where the Eagles need to be, whether it be in LA or Dallas at this point, and however they're going to play in the Super Bowl. But I hope that at least what we can see from the Eagles, we need that strong first half.
Yeah, absolutely. They can't get off. I mean, that Giants game, even Washington down the stretch, those first halves, you can't put those up against Brady and expect to get a win. So that's crucial. The first half is crucial in this game.
Jamie,
Jamie, is your prediction still the same as what you said yesterday?
Yeah, I said 32-24 Tampa Bay. I think if they keep them below 30, I think they got a really good shot. I'm a little worried. We'll see what the weather is. Apparently, it's supposed to stop right before game time now. Some winds are expected, which might hurts more than it does Brady. So we'll see. He's going to have a couple big runs. I think it's going to be hard fought, and they'll come up just short. But, I hope I'm wrong, as always.
Let's hope. We'll see. I mean, it could be. Hopefully, the weather will pass. Now they keep saying it's going to get earlier and earlier as it passes through. So maybe even before the tailgate party starts, hopefully it'll blow just overnight. That way, come tomorrow morning, everybody will be just fine, especially when it comes game time. But we've seen the Eagles be able to play just fine in wet weather. Tampa, the only experience they had this year collectively as a team was when they played the Patriots, and that was even a nail biter then. So the fair weather for as far as when it comes to Tampa doesn't bode that well. And now they're on their turf. Because don't forget, the last time we've seen, and this was the NFC Championship matchup, so it's not like the wildcard weekend, was when Tampa came to the vet and took care of business then. So we're hoping that this time around it's more victorious for the Eagles.
Yeah, and look, the NFL's weird. Washington gave Tampa probably their hardest game last year in the playoffs, and Taylor Heineke was there at the end with a chance to win. So you never know. And Jalen Hurts might shock the world and have a phenomenal game and go toe-to-toe with Brady. We'll see. It's going to be awesome.
Any given Sunday.
You're damn right.
That's true. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you have to get ready for your show as well. I don't know if John's going to have a moment or not because I see he already has the headphones on. And Bob already had everything set up. I think it was like 12 o'clock when it was all done.
2:30. I can go get John for you for a couple minutes, I think.
All right, yeah, if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it.
I'll go tag him out.
All right,
Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem.
Great job.
Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Anytime. And go Birds.
Exactly.
Go Birds.
Now, as we wait now for the man of the hour here, John Kincade. He's getting to tap out and see if he can come over.
I believe I actually did hang out with John Kincade about 20 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, you're about to find out if you did or not. So we'll find out.
I know a good friend of his.
Oh, yeah?
Actually hung out with him, I believe, in Atlanta 2003. When the Eagles went down and beat Atlanta.
Well, we'll find out.
Beat the Dirty Birds.
Well, we'll see. Here it comes, man. All right. From the John Kincade Show, that once again, you guys can hear Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. on 97.5 The Fanatic. Again, if you have the iHeartRadio app, you guys can listen in every Monday through Friday. And yesterday, John, as we were out here on the patio, and again, much gorgeous weather than it was yesterday, this is absolutely nice. And all the fans, if I keep saying over here in the podcast, is they started showing up at 11:15.
That is absolutely awesome. We love hearing that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But, John, listen, first of all, thanks for taking time before you guys go live here from 3 to 5. And I hear that today you're simulcasting with the Cuz, if I remember correctly.
Well, Cuz actually had a little bit of an incident this morning, so he's not able to – he didn't get to work today. Cuz and Mike will work together on Monday doing their shows together from 10 to 2. So a special edition because we got Sixers basketball in the afternoon. And Mike missing out, he was like, I don't want to be off the day after an Eagles playoff game. So Cuz and Mike are going to work together, and we'll have our show. So it'll be a really big day on the Fanatic. So it'll be a lot of fun.
That's good to hear. Fuji?
John, how are you? Nice to meet you. Thank you for
Nice to
coming
meet you,
on.
too. What's going on?
Well, I know a good friend of yours. I believe we hung out back in Atlanta 2003 Eagles Falcons. Jeff Lubo.
Oh, yes. Well, Jeff, absolutely. A very good friend of mine. His beautiful family. He's a lucky man. I don't know how he ever talked that beautiful woman into marrying him, but she's stuck around with him, I can tell you that. And they make beautiful children.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. What's your take for tomorrow as we get down to this war to begin with Tom Brady and the Bucs?
I bet the Eagles plus 5.5 in the first half. I believe it's going to be a tight game. I don't believe they can hang with them for 4 quarters. I haven't seen enough out of this defense this year to believe that they can do that. And I don't have enough confidence in the offense enough to be able to create like 4 or 5, 6, 7-minute drives to just bleed the clock and keep Brady off the field. So I said 34-23, but I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game.
I think so as well. Now, John, for those who don't know, because we have a lot of viewers here from the United States, also from overseas. So for the viewers that don't know, you were in Atlanta for many, many years before coming back to Philly.
25.
What decided to bring you back to Philadelphia?
The fact that they told me they could no longer afford me after COVID. How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Isn't it?
How about 2 weeks earlier, the governor declared it Buck and Kincade Day in the state of Georgia. And then 2 weeks later, they said, we can't afford you. Very strange. Yes. So then I was a free agent. And there was no question that if all things were relatively equal, that where I would end up would be back home in Philadelphia. And that was always our intention, my wife and I, to get back to Philly at some point, and that's where we wanted to be. So it worked out beautifully. They actually did me a favor. I just had to find the right landing spot, and the Fanatic ended up being that landing spot, and I'm very fortunate to do so.
Well, I will
Talk
say
about
this
coming
much. I
full
think
circle.
Yeah, it is. You're right, Fuji. But I won't, as I told you yesterday, and which I'll be able to say in front of fans here today, is that I really appreciate you coming back to Philly because it is different radio as we had the conversation off air yesterday. And I love the fact that you can be you versus things being scripted or something else that we hear on normal radio stations and not from 97.5 The Fanatic or anyone else. But sometimes you'll hear that script that it's become kind of like the same old. And it's nice to hear that you guys, especially hearing it yesterday, how much different and how much more enjoyable that you can hear, just like Sean Salisbury out there in Houston.
My man, Sean.
And it's, the great thing is it's much fun to listen to. It's in depth, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, when you guys are just being your natural selves, you can really bring the elements in and you can suck someone in there. And if you work from home, it's hard. I will say, if you're watching YouTube feed, it's hard to do work and listen to you guys at the same time.
Well, Angel, what I'll tell you is that
one of my goals was I told both radio stations when they were talking to me about potentially joining them, I was not going to do the typical Philly sports radio show. And if that's what they wanted me to do, don't hire me. Because I was going to go somewhere where I could put together the kind of show that I wanted to. I wanted an ensemble cast of people. I wanted a bunch of guys who weren't going to sit there and say, yeah, John, we agree with you, John. In fact, I wanted to seek out people who might be different than me, different age groups. We got Egan in it, just relatively 30. Jamie, 40. Bob and I in our 50s. We've got different thoughts. We got different backgrounds. We got different ideas. And we disagree a lot. But we want the show to be loose. We want it to be light. We don't want it to be angry. We don't want it to be a bunch of people bitching and moaning all day long. I don't think anybody wants that 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't think they want it. And I know you're about that too. I mean, it's just give somebody in the morning something that just keeps them positive, keeps it together. And it's a blast. It really is. And I tell you, I got a great crew to work with. Bob and Jamie and Pat keep me on my toes. They're a lot of fun. And we have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, no, it's true. It was fun with actually Pat making a shutter on back to the hotel.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been on YouTube yesterday if you didn't give them the ride back.
It's okay. Good thing I pulled up at the time that I did in order to save it. But listen, we expect nothing but an Eagles sellout crowd here.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I can between this today and then tomorrow at the tailgate. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But soak in the warmth down here.
I am going to. It is I was hearing today it's 17 degrees back in Philadelphia. Right now.
It was this morning. It's like in the low 20s right now up here.
Nasty. And so there are many reasons I'm glad to be back in Philly. That is not one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. Nice to see you guys. And you throw a great party, you guys. People want to come out for this. And the Philly Sports Trips people, absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And especially, of course, a shout out to you, to Hooters and Pretzel Factory. So, John, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, obviously, you guys can see here, John, and say again, you can listen in to his station there, 97.5 The Fanatic. You guys can tune in Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. That way you guys can hear everything that's going on. Good, buddy. Good to see you. But it's obviously from 6 to 10 a.m. You hear John Kincade show. The rest of the guys, because they're close to showtime. I don't know if I'll be able to get Pat Egan or not over here. Pat is an interesting person to say the least. Love the guy because he says what's on his mind, and he has no problem saying so. But it was fun yesterday seeing them hanging out. It was fun with these guys, and we expect nothing but based on the best from all these guys. So we're hoping that turn out to be a great crowd. As we already see, the inside of the bar is already packed. The outside patio is already packed. It won't be long before the inside of the restaurant will be completely jammed up, and then the entire party will be moved over.
It sounds like it's getting mobbed down there, just from the background noise on my headphones.
Yeah. Well, I had to mute that bike, unfortunately, because I forgot I had the hot there. But listen, it's going to be a great time. I don't know if I can get that one Buck fan. I think he might have one friend that showed up to get his take to see what he believes what the Bucks end up doing. But I'm trying to see if I don't know if again Pat Egan or Bob can jump on real quick. Huh?
They got about 15 minutes till they.
Cooney. Bob Cooney, the guy with the hat on. Yeah, see if he can make it over here. No, I haven't seen him yet.
Vince there.
Okay. No, Vince is not here yet. I haven't seen him yet. See if you can get Bob's attention. The guy, the Eagles hat. Yeah. Try and get Bob Cooney's attention here before he jump on.
Give me one of those Tampa Joe's jerseys with the numbers on it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
What number? What number can you get me?
Yeah, it is. Here comes Mr. Cooney as he circled back. Trying to get everybody squeezed in here before these guys get their show started. Again, a beautiful down here in Tampa. Beautiful, beautiful day.
Almost kickoff. What's the temperature?
What's going on? How are you? Great. All right, so we get the headphones on here. So let the fine folks know, Mr. Cooney, exactly who you are. I already know the radio station, but let everybody know that's tuning in here from overseas.
Nick, you got it on mute.
Yep. Give me a second.
Get with it.
All right. Can you hear that now?
Getting an echo too.
Yeah, unfortunately, because the
okay, we're good.
No.
All right, sorry.
How you doing?
What's going on, buddy?
Listen, yesterday, great day. Obviously out here, as you guys got to see the sunrise and the sunset out there from Tampa. So that's a beautiful thing. Yesterday, thank God, everything went flawless as far as the radio broadcast, which that was a lot of fun come yesterday.
Yeah.
That was absolutely awesome. Chris Connolly, of course, being out here, being able to tape us to see, what was happening, what was going on. But we know that tomorrow is an important day for the Eagles, as you guys will be bringing it down here tonight from 3 to 5. And then we have the beautiful pep rallies about to kick off here just momentarily.
This is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a great place.
I
Looks
hope
amazing.
you're enjoying the weather.
Yeah. I got a call from my wife this morning. She said it was 12 degrees back at home. And I said, oh, okay, I'll leave the pool side where I am right now and go back inside because I feel bad for you. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Just a great setup. The people at Tampa Joe's have been phenomenal. You guys got a great setup going on over here. So time for Eagles football almost, right? You got to get down to business now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm dying to see what's going to happen tomorrow because the tough part is going to end up being obviously with the Bucs. Bruce Arians just talked about that. Obviously, this is a completely different team from the win that they had just many weeks ago. So we're hoping to see at least a fast start, as I keep saying it here on the broadcast this afternoon. We're hoping to see a much faster start than we've seen from the Eagles. If the Eagles end up having a slower start than we've seen from the past, obviously Tampa Bay is a high-powered offense, even with the injuries, because Tom Brady's been doing some amazing things with the Bucs. Do the Eagles pull off the win, even if they get off the slow start come tomorrow?
You can't come on Tom Brady. There's just no way. I mean, a 10-0 deficit to him, that's just impossible to come back from, in my opinion, for the Eagles, because you're relying mainly on your running game. And you're not going to be able to come back on Tom Brady, I don't think, solely running the football. They have to keep it close early. Weather's going to be something of a factor, it seems, early in that game. So Eagles have to use that to their advantage. I'm looking for them. I want them, if they win the toss, I want them to take the ball. I want them to go out and control the ball. If it's one less possession for Tom Brady because you took the ball at the beginning of the game and you held the ball for 7 or 8 minutes, to me, that's a good thing. Fast start. It's funny, John Kincade and I had this argument the other day. I said I want the Eagles to get out to a fast start. And he said, no. You don't want them throwing the ball all over the place. But that's not what I was saying. I want them to get out 5, 6, 7 yard chunks on runs. If they get a 10-play drive and get positive yardage and go down the field and get points, to me, that's a fast start. It might take time off the clock and it might be slow moving, but that's a fast start to me, getting out and getting on the scoreboard. And I think it's imperative for the Eagles to do that tomorrow.
That's right. I absolutely agree. Now, I'd like to get your take as far as, because we hear that Josh Sweat did not practice yesterday.
Yeah.
How much is that going to play a factor with the Eagles?
It's huge. I mean, it's huge. He's probably their best pass rusher right now, right? Coming off the edge. He's got to be their best pass rusher. So that would be big. I've heard different things. It was a stomach ailment or something like that. That's tough. I mean, we all know. We've all been down with stomach ailments, whatever it may be. Coming back and then, boom, going full force into a game is going to be a tough go. But they have to have him. You have to have pressure on Tom Brady all day. Even if you don't sack him, he's got to get hit all day long. He has to get pressure up in his face. It's the only – I can't even call it a chink in the armor of Tom Brady, but it's the only place where he seems susceptible, and that's when he's getting hit. And the Eagles have to do that a lot tomorrow. A lot.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. They got to definitely keep Brady off the field at all costs.
No question. Yeah, Brady off the field. That's why long drives tomorrow are so important. If you're running the football, you're taking time off the clock. Look for those 75-yard drives. Look to, if you can hold Tampa and get a shorter field. You have to play as much the intangibles of Tom Brady as you're actually playing against Tom Brady. And that means your best defense might be your running offense, because you're holding on to the football. You're right. That's the best defense against Tom Brady is him sitting on the bench.
That's right.
Just going to say thank you for coming on, Bob. We appreciate it. We know you're got to run soon.
Absolutely. You guys are the best. I wish I could predict an Eagles victory tomorrow, so I'll just keep the prediction to myself.
Exactly.
All right, guys, be good. Thank you.
All right, Thanks, go Birds.
Appreciate it. Nice. Again, thank the guys for taking the time here as far as coming on with us. We do appreciate it. And I will tell you this much, Fuji. It is getting packed here. And if you guys are not down here right now, 9316 Anderson Road. I can't say enough. That is the house getting packed. PSG is already making the rounds. He's kissing babies, hugging everybody. This is
shaking hands.
This is oh, wait a minute. The shuttle bus is coming. Here it comes. So we got the trolley. Apparently they must have chartered that trolley coming up because you can see it might be Vince and the rest of the gang coming up here as obviously in a second here's just turn the corner. Might be Vince in there. They may this matter of fact, it might be the shuttle coming from the hotel. I can't see. I don't think Vince is. No, Vince should be on there, I think. But it's the shuttle run that's coming around. So we'll get to see hopefully Vince here before everything starts off. But listen, if everybody, once again, I hope everybody can make it down here. 9316 Anderson Road, and it is rare when you get two of your sponsors from your show to be out here to support you, to put this all together. And I will say this much. Thank God to 97.5 The Fanatic, the Pretzel Factory, for making it happen for the Fanatic to come down here, along with Hooters. We want to make sure that we give them the mention as well because Hooters also played a part in putting this together here, along with Fuji and myself here with Broad Street South, as Vince Rizzuto had reached out to us prior to everything getting kicked off and before he even came on as a sponsor. So God bless the man for able to do so because we were hoping that we would make that connection, and thank God we actually did end up making a connection. So talk about Fuji, making that very first impression to your sponsor. I would say it's a pretty damn good job coming off with our sponsor here and putting all this together.
I would say so. I mean, hey, got it together within a couple of days, and luckily, thanks to Mark Forzetta for hooking us up with Trey Thomas, and it just got the wheels in motion, and boom, instant party, instant tailgate, kicking a kick-ass time down there. It looked phenomenal. I'm ready to hop on in the cargo and hide myself away and just parachute right into Tampa Joe's right there on the beach.
It would be great if you could actually do so because it would be a beautiful thing that actually happen. It would be absolutely fantastic. But listen, I wish I would say that you had made the trip down here because it would have been much better to have you here on the opposite side with me so you can end up enjoying it. But in spirit, as you said, Rick, we'll see you here shortly. But in spirit, as you were talking about earlier, hopefully the next time around, matter of fact, March, obviously the whole entire gang's coming back down here for a baseball game. So we hope that everybody comes back down here in March. So maybe going to make the trip. And I'm trying to get Mike's attention here. So the owner of Tampa Joe is my sponsor. Is coming up. Hang on for 1 second, everybody here.
1 second.
I'm trying to get Mike Goodwin's attention here. I'm going to get the man of the hour along with everyone else on here because obviously without him, a lot of this stuff doesn't get started.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I just had it's probably my headphones. These technical difficulties going on with these shows.
Sir. That's right. You're fine. You might hear a slight echo when you put on the headphones, but all right. So now to introduce the man of the hour, my great friend here of the last 3 years, Mike Goodwin, owner of Tampa Joe's. And Mike, I will tell you this much. First of all, thank you for many, many years here. Now, when it comes to the sponsorship of the show, we do appreciate it. That's number one, first and foremost. I'm glad that we were able to collaborate and put all this together because the fans are showing up, and I can only imagine what's going to happen here on the other side of this gate.
Hey, we got the trolley coming over from Clearwater bringing Eagles fans. This is awesome.
Nice.
It is.
Thank you. It's been a great relationship for the last few years, and I can't thank you enough for that. It's been awesome having the Eagles fans here on Sunday showing up, representing, and what the perfect storm happened for us this year, right?
Exactly.
Eagles coming to Tampa to take on the Bucs.
Exactly. And listen, and who knew this was going to happen? The great part is that it did come together at the very end. Thankfully, the Philly Sports Trips, obviously collaborating with us and Philly to South to make sure all this comes together, and Hooters and a couple other folks. Obviously, Fanatic, as they're getting ready to kick off their show here from 3 to 5. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. The weather down here, which is always fantastic.
Yeah.
We're completely blessed to have a day like this so we can fill this. And even if we got to spill into the parking lot, hopefully not. But if we got to spill into the parking lot, this would be a great win-win for everybody. But, Mike, I would tell you, the bar restaurant, since being here in Tampa, this has been the second home for me. Obviously, my home not that far away from here. But the upgrades that you've done here and what you've done to the place and the fans coming in, I think I will speak for at least all the Philly fans here. We thank you for everything you're doing here. And still there's a couple other upgrades that are coming up that I know you kind of have hidden here. But it's been absolutely fantastic for the time that we've been here. And we can't thank you enough for hosting us here every season.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. And it's been a great 5 years since we've taken ownership. We've done a lot of improvements. And bringing on the Eagles to Tampa Joe's has been one of them. So thank you for that as well. It's been a lot of fun.
Hey, Mike, Mike Fuji, nice to meet you. I want to say thank you for being our sponsor and coming on with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, it's been fun, and I've enjoyed watching the shows, and appreciate everything you guys have done.
So now,
you're welcome anytime.
Fuji, unfortunately, Mike couldn't get the Learjet going because there was a problem with the engine this morning, so we couldn't get the Learjet out there to pick you up. But
yeah.
he
did
keep
come rubbing it in.
No, he came in. You should have seen it. He came in by helicopter earlier. It was fantastic. No, listen, Mike. I just hope this is a successful event. Obviously, we see it, and I know that you've heard from years past the way the Eagles fans are. But obviously, you get the milder side of the Eagles fans. Now, we expect, of course, the other fans coming in from Philly coming in here. So it could get a little bit loud. You're going to hear tons of Eagles chants, but it's well worth it.
That's all right. I think we'll handle it. We'll have a lot of fun today. The weather has been great, and it's going to be a fun event.
It looks phenomenal down there.
Yeah.
It looks phenomenal down there.
Oh, it is. Yeah, today's beautiful. Absolutely perfect. So it's going to be a great day.
I hope so. So don't worry, because I'll be out there, kissing babies and hugging everybody and everything else as soon as it's all over. But listen, I can, again, Mike, I always say this when it comes to our guys coming on there. But again, the relationship you and I have had, I can't thank you enough, because thank God things pay off. And this is where I want people to understand. When you look for a sponsor, right, that sponsor has to be with you through the worst of times and the best of times. We started together here when we had basically one fan.
Yeah.
And now, thankfully, we have people listening to us in 28 different states here in the U.S. We have Puerto Rico, Brazil, Uruguay, and now 8 countries overseas.
That's great.
So not only do people get to hear, now you hear in front of me, but everyone that plays the playback.
Good to see you, man.
What's going on, brother? How are you? But the good thing is that everyone, when they hear the replay, they get to hear Tampa Joe's. So not only get to see the fine establishment as they do now, then they get to meet the owner. But Mike, again, thank you so much for the bond that we built and for the many, many years to come. And we'll still get something set up for Bill O'Brien's Younger Club up the street there.
We'll get it done. And thank you, and look for a great future together. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
It was nice meeting you.
I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you have to play host, but I do appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
So again, I will switch the cameras so you guys can see here what's going on. Make sure that let's go this way here.
Vince in the building yet?
No, there was a bus that came in from Clearwater. We thought it came in from downtown, but I don't see Vince yet. But as you guys can see now, everything is kind of starting to spill over on the tent side.
Yeah.
So if you guys are going to get down here, I would say there's Vince.
Angel, I feel like I'm watching a commercial with that camera.
Oh yeah,
it's like paradise.
Listen, that's what the guys were saying yesterday. How nice it was down here. I'm telling you, you're Fuji. You're missing out, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let me see if I can get Vince's attention.
Hey, call him in. Let's get him on next.
Vince. So you gotta yell across because My producer's getting everybody else's attention, but you got to yell across the parking lot here to be able to get Vince. So we'll get Vince on, the other man of the hour, to make this all together. Kathleen here. Give me a sec.
I haven't seen any comments in a while.
Well, yeah. Well, listen, I got to run two things here at once, so it's kind of hard. If I would have had a tablet going, it would probably be a little bit easier. But Kathleen's on there. Tampa great plays, Tampa Joe's.
Thanks for coming on, Kathleen.
And Mike left Tampa Joe. So here comes Vince. Good.
How we doing today?
Good. How are you? Throw on the headphones if you want. You might hear a slight echo.
Nice. It's good to be here, guys.
Where the voice is coming from. Can you hear me?
Voice from beyond. Hold on. I got to switch cameras here. Give me a second. Yeah, he can hear you, Pooch. Give it a second here.
First sip of beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Just rub it in. Vince, just rub it in.
The longest tailgate in Eagles history. 22 hours till game time. Let's go,
keep
Mike.
rubbing that. Just keep rubbing that salt in the wound.
That's right. Well, listen, everyone who's tuning in right now. Now, again, Vince, as I said before, and I just said it to Mike Goodwin here, the owner of Tampa Joe's, it's rare that you get both sponsors in the same place, and everyone collaborates, and everyone gets together. But Vince Rizzuto, by the way, PhillySportsTrips.com and Philly Sports Trips, the president of Philly Sports Trips. Thank you, first of all, for coming down and in collaborating with us to put this massive party together. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen tomorrow. But for everyone to know, this is our other sponsor here from Philly Sports Trips. And how do you kick off a sponsorship? It's crazy to think about. This is how you kick off a sponsorship.
Angel, you are responsible for today, man. Look around. You made this happen. I'm really proud of you. I'm so glad we're working together. And it's a beautiful thing. It's 3 o'clock and there's already this many people here.
Yeah.
This is going to get crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get insane. This, by the way, we got here at 11 o'clock. 11:15, the folks started showing up. Mind you, the event's at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
But 11:15, this is why we talk about this. You can't get any better than Tampa Joe's. Honestly, God, you really can't.
And it's so great that the fans get to enjoy the weather, because tomorrow's tailgate's going to be a little different story.
Yeah.
The rain's going to be coming down. But we'll have big tents like this. We'll be dry. It's going to be awesome. But today's a special day.
Yeah, that definitely is. The only thing I have to cheer off is coffee for the moment until I get off air here. But listen, Vince, first of all, let me just say again, thanks for you guys coming down, putting this together. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in March when we do this all over again. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be great as long as the MLB keeps talking about their progress and what they want to do. And from what I understand, they will get the season started, even if they have to go into the season and talking about as far as the salary caps and everything that the monies that have to be put together.
Yep.
But they want for the players to come down to their respective stadiums to make sure to get everything kicked off, because we've seen the last 2 years things haven't been the way they're supposed to. But I want to mention here Philly Sports Trips, as far as the package you guys end up putting together, and I did see that it was basically a sellout package, and I think there might be just a handful of the tailgate party experience for tomorrow.
Correct. Yeah, they're going quick. We have about 120 Eagles fans at the tailgate and about 25 spots left. So they're going now.
And as I put out the front one this morning, I said there's a handful of tickets. So I'm hoping that everyone, by the way, visit PhillySportsTrips.com and get your tailgate experience. You guys will absolutely love it. If you think this is something, wait till tomorrow for everyone to be there. And thanks to Vince for making it happen as far as for tomorrow. Myself and my producer here, Debbie, you haven't met yet, but there's my producer, my loving lady here. But and by the way, she's a Bears fan, but supports the Eagles.
I like it.
So yeah, if it wasn't for her, a lot of things don't happen either. So I appreciate it. But tell us a little more here about Philly Sports Trips. We know that you guys have not been on that long, but you're becoming the leader in sports travel. And also, if you guys want to travel, as you say, you also travel with the pros.
Yeah.
So let us know a little more about Philly Sports Trips.
Yeah, so before we talk about that, I just wanted to mention two things. Trey Thomas will be in the building today.
True.
Which is incredible. And the other thing is Devontae Smith's parents will be here.
Nice.
Devontae Smith's family is coming to the tailgate today and tomorrow.
That's sweet.
So that's pretty cool. But what we try to do at Philly Sports Trips is build a vacation for sports fans like you would do it for your own family. Premium experiences, meet some players, VIP experiences, great hotels, and really just take the stress out of traveling, where people just show up. There's a lot of free time built into the package as well, but there's enough structure where people just are on vacation and don't have to think about anything the whole time. Just really enjoy themselves, meet other people from Philadelphia. And I take it really seriously because I feel like there's a responsibility to provide value to those people because they're spending their hard-earned money.
Right.
They're taking vacation time from their jobs, and they want to relax. They want to turn it off and have these premium experiences. And we built something special where people keep coming back. Some people here are on their 10th trip with us.
Nice.
And we'll just keep doing it.
Speaking of Trey,
There he is.
there he is. Pretty good to see Trey here. Obviously, it's gonna be it's this event. And it's got to be by far. And I know you guys been to Denver.
Yep.
I know you guys been away, but you got to think about it. It's January.
Yeah.
75 degrees. Right? It's about 14 degrees back home.
Yep.
So you got to think about this is absolutely fantastic. Like this could not be the most perfect scenario that you can possibly set it up.
Yeah.
And within a week time frame to put this, I mean, phone calls, emails, text messages,
Yep.
making sure everything runs smooth. The outcome right now, I just hope that this gets packed and that we end up over there by the movie theater, which
Yeah.
would be even better. But I want to get your take here as well when it comes to
Trey's over there.
jumps on, with the Fanatics. That's a great thing to jump on with them. But listen, tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, we expect obviously for the Eagles to pull off the win.
Yeah.
I want to get your take of what do you expect from the Eagles come tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
I want to see the Eagles going into the fourth quarter with a 3-point game either way and make it interesting and give Jalen Hurts that experience where he has a chance to put the team ahead. And I just want to have that pressure on him to see how he handles it. So I really expect them to play their game, not feel like they have to throw it if they're down a touchdown. They have to throw it 10 times in a row. Stick to the running game, be patient. And I think if the Eagles are within striking distance in the fourth quarter, they have a shot to have one of the biggest upsets in a long time. But I think Brady is ready, like always. He's a competitor, but I think he has some hatred for Philly, and I think the Philly fans can really get under him if they're loud tomorrow. I think the fans have a big part in representing the team tomorrow and being loud and making those Bucs fans, the second loudest fan base in the stadium tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. Good, Vooch.
As you're saying, Vince, I mean, I think there is definitely some resentment towards the Eagles, especially all the heat Tom Brady took for not shaking Nick Foles' hand. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. But I want to see, you're absolutely right when it comes to the fan base. Everybody knows that we travel in numbers.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's a takeover. You saw when the Eagles made a run in 2017. And we know they had to basically do everything on the road minus the NFC Championship game. So it's good to see that we're almost at that same kind of mentality when it comes down to it, because even if the Eagles pull off the win here, we know they're not going to play at home. They would have to play on the road. Basically, every game from here on out, we're going on the road.
Yep.
I know it's a far-fetched thought to think of, but could the Eagles, if Green Bay wins, obviously the Eagles end up winning, is there a chance that the Eagles could possibly be in the Green Bay Packers?
Wow. I don't think I can think about it. I think I need to wait for Brady. I want Brady to go down, celebrate. Monday morning, we can talk about Aaron Rodgers. Carson beat Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. We had 100 fans there that day from our company. And that was one of the best wins I've ever seen. To beat Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau is a special thing. Anything's possible. It's going to be 8 degrees, Angel. Can you imagine being at that game?
I think it was 13 degrees there yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
13.
Yeah.
Mike,
that's basically what it is
You
in
couldn't make it
Philly.
to Tampa. We'll send you to that one.
Hey, why not?
The only thing I'll be at the tailgate party tomorrow.
Yep.
So you'll hear two people screaming from the outside of the stadium, which will be myself and my producer.
Yep.
So you'll hear us just screaming out there. And so we'll add to the outdoor experience along with everybody else. But we hope that tomorrow, obviously, the weather we keep hearing about now, it's getting at least better.
Yes.
Supposedly things are coming in during the overnight. So maybe by the time the tailgate kicks off, it'll be dry. Obviously, other than the ground being wet.
Yeah.
But we hope it ends up being dry, because if not, we're looking at possibly, you already know it's going to be high winds. There's going to be rain. Thankfully, the tents will be out there, so everybody be covered up. But then you're also adding that element to the stadium. Hopefully, the tarp won't come off until they know that the majority of the rain ends up going away, because even though they had that brand new field laid down there last year because they were a host for the Super Bowl and obviously winning the Super Bowl down here, it makes a difference between your sloppy field to something being just mildly wet. So hopefully Tampa Bay will keep that tarp on there. But I would expect for the Eagles fans that we see here right now, and we see around Tampa Joe's restaurant, is that we hope that same energy that we keep hearing over and over and over again ends up happening in Tampa, because we can only end up dominating that win and that team with the fans. As obviously we see PSG over here, he's ready to jump in as well. But listen, we need PSG to lead up the crowd here come tomorrow, because it's going to be absolutely fantastic, I believe, come game time.
I think that's a good point. I think it's time to pass it on to my man right here. The man that went to every – are you already on?
Yeah.
I gotta go talk to Trey, guys. I love you all.
No problem.
I'll see you soon. Thank you, Angel.
Vince, no problem. Thank you.
See you, Vince.
Go Birds. So I'm watching PSG over here, and I'm watching the other guys that I'm coming on. But I tell you this much, Fuji, as you guys can already see, the place is getting packed here.
Right.
I'm going to get PSG back on here with us.
Ruin these one more time.
That's all right. So listen, PSG, obviously, from the time you came on, now we're looking about an hour later. Trey Thomas here in the house along with the Fanatics. You start seeing the fans now piling in. And we just heard that Devontae Smith's parents are actually going to be here and at the tailgate tomorrow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I would say right now we have about 250 people between outside here and inside the bar. And like I said, keep seeing cars and cars and cars pulling in. So by 7 o'clock, this place is going to be rocking and rolling.
So, yeah,
I think before that.
But yeah, oh, absolutely. But I'm just thinking that everybody's going to get here. I figure everybody's going to get here around 4:30 because everybody wants to watch the first game. As much as we're here for the Eagles, and we'll do tons of Eagles chants and getting ourselves all wrapped up and ready to go, we're going to be watching football too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Every television is going to have a whole bunch of guys just standing there going like this.
Right.
Watching.
Big time.
You know they got bets out on there.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Now, PSG, for being down here for the first time, so you can see this crowd. Right? As honors, and you've been on our show multiple times now, and you always hear me talk about Tampa Joe's. What is now your feeling and your experience being here in Tampa, especially down here at Tampa Joe's?
So I've been to Tampa a couple times, actually, and this is the first time here at Tampa Joe's, and it's a great spot. They really were able to set this up. I was wondering how they were going to fit everybody. So the fact that they got this all quarantined off, they got all us Eagles fans all in one spot. They're still able to keep the restaurant going. It's a really nice spot. I've been here now 3 days. The food is excellent. They even got pretzels. The pretzel looks like a big steering wheel, so it's not like a Philly pretzel, but it's definitely it's all good food. I ate here a couple days ago. It's really a blast. So when you come into Tampa, you got to go to Tampa Joe's. They had the Flyers game on the other night, so they definitely take care of the Philadelphia. They cater to the Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Fuji, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that sounds sweet. At least you know, hey, you ever go down to Tampa, go to Tampa Joe's. You'll feel right at home being right from Philly.
And I'm very big on. I have an app that I go to, and I find where the Eagles bars are at in every city. And every city I go to has at least one, if not multiple. So there used to be a one called Buckets, and now that place got closed down. That's when they moved to Tampa Joe's about 4 years ago. So, but it's still in my app actually because I went looking for it. And then if you go up to Orlando, there's like 5 or 6 Philadelphia bars. And then once you go into Clearwater, there's even some more. There's like Phillies bars and things like that. So there's a lot of places that Philadelphia is really all over the place in this Tampa region.
A lot of hometown flavor.
Exactly.
That's it. Listen, about being down here, like even in Clearwater, same exact way. And having the Philly fans here and the Philly fan base, it's great because there's parts that you do miss being back home. Being the city of nightlife in Philly, much more in different comparison when it comes to Tampa. The only thing that Tampa kind of hurts themselves is that they shut down things early. But as the people keep coming here, as long as people keep filling in, your homes, your apartments, and everything else, then you'll start adjusting and becoming accustomed to what you see down here. What you see a lot down here is the college crowd. And as you can see downtown, when you guys were out there last night, that's a lot what you end up seeing down here. And because I think since they decide not to have all these drunk young kids out all over the place, that's why you'll see places kind of shut down a little bit earlier. But since you're now getting more mature adults, even the younger adults are starting to come in and they're establishing a bigger base down here, I think that's when you'll start seeing things change because not only is it in Tampa, so the other surrounding towns around it, because right now we're in Hillsborough County. Your next county up is Pasco County. So in Pasco, like Hudson, Trinity, Newport Richey, those are starting to evolve just like Tampa is. So it's going to be basically an extension. Like you go to Philly in the suburbs, people still say, well, I'm from Philly, I'm just out from the suburbs. Here's becoming the same kind of mentality where, well, I'm from Tampa, but I'm out in the burbs, where a lot of people, a lot of us are, including myself, out there in the Tampa burbs.
So actually, I'm staying out in Oldsmar with an old friend of the show, Crystal.
Oh, wow.
So I'm staying with Crystal. In fact, she's here. I'll have to bring her over here somewhere. I thought I saw
Crystal's
her.
been on with us.
Yeah, Crystal. It's been a while since she's been on, but the Seahawks fan, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but so we're two birds in the nest, even though we ruffle each other's feathers a little bit. But when I come down to Tampa, I usually hang and stay with her. It just makes things a little bit easier, especially coming in a couple days early. I get the lay of the land and such like that, so that I know exactly where I'm going to be at what time to be able to ignite the crowd as best as possible.
Oh, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's going to get ignited here because, again, you can already start seeing the people coming in. They're not even done coming in yet. So it's going to be great to see this place absolutely mobbed, especially when it comes tomorrow, because tomorrow, that's all I expect from the tailgate party. It's going to be absolutely insane, I believe, out there tomorrow morning. And I don't think the atmosphere when it comes to playoff time, and even though the Bucs fans, they got to see the Super Bowl last year, first team to ever do so. And we kept hearing people saying, well, it was fixed. It was supposed to be like that. Tom Brady was supposed to go to the Bucs. He was supposed to be the savior, whatever. Nothing is ever guaranteed, no matter which way you look at it. But I don't think Bucs fans understand what an actual true playoff atmosphere will be. And they'll come find out tomorrow because in that stadium, that takeover is going to be absolutely insane by the Eagles. And don't think that the Eagles will get a pass if they end up having a bad first half because them Boo Birds will be out there. And we already know it. We expect it. So I'm just hoping that Nick Sirianni and crew put a game plan together that's going to be fit to take them over to the divisional round. But I also believe that San Fran will take care of business against Dallas because I don't see Dallas passing San Fran.
Hey, I would love to see us get past the Bucs and then watch Dallas lose. Oh my Lord! I would. None of those Cowboys fans would ever hear the end of it from me for the rest of the offseason for them. It would not matter even a little bit because they've all been sniffing themselves. They got 51 points against our backup crowd. And that's whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're sniffing themselves, and I think San Francisco is going to give them a little smack on the nose.
I think San Fran knocks Dallas off tomorrow.
I agree.
I just think they go in there and shock them. I think they bring the pain tomorrow in San Fran.
Right. Plus, everybody knows that Green Bay has owned Dallas. That's been I keep saying over and over again. Green Bay is Dallas's daddy. You're not passing, even if they pass San Fran, which I just don't see it happening. To me, you're not getting past Green Bay. I mean, obviously the same thing for the Eagles have to get through Tampa to get to Green Bay if that's where they're out to end up going. But I just don't see Dallas had a hot start. They look like they were going to be contenders, but looking to the second half of their season, they haven't been able to hold it well. And I want to ask you because I know the guys didn't get into it too much tomorrow. I'm gonna and we had talked about it. So for the folks that missed the show on Thursday, as we talked about Doug Peterson. Now that I have you here in front of me as well, Doug Peterson. Again, the rumors keep escalating more and more here that he could end up with the Giants. To me, I feel that if he and he can do whatever he wants to. Don't get me wrong. If you loved and cherished what you did in Philly, and I know it's an opportunity that you can take over a major market in New York, is it an actual good fit for Dougie P to be out there in New York?
I don't think so. Like I said, I think New York's a hot mess, and I feel that would just break some of the lure that we have of Doug P. I mean, he led us to our first Super Bowl. You become a Giant, and all bets are off. I feel like you lose all of that credibility. Even though you led us to the Super Bowl. Well, now you're up there with the Giants and we hate you. It was part of Parcells had the chance to become an Eagle at one point. He was asked to interview for the Eagles head coaching job, and he said no. He didn't want to become an Eagle. He would rather become a Cowboy than an Eagle. And that's how Giants fans think about it. Like, Giants people hate the Eagles more than they hate Dallas, more than they hate Washington. And that rivalry is much stronger between New York and Philly than it is Philly and Dallas.
Right.
It's actually, when you look at the biggest rivalries, Philly and New York beats Philly and Dallas. And that's how the players look at it. I remember listening to Strahan. Strahan hates the Eagles much more than he hates Dallas. And will always hate the Eagles. And was happy. He called up Parcells and said, do not even interview for that job. And he didn't. It was interesting how Parcells kind of listened to his players. Says, we don't want you to ever become an Eagle, ever. And I feel that a little bit the same way. If he was to go down to Dallas to get a head coaching job, I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? That's a good spot, to be a head coach. Go to New York, though. I'm not a fan of that, especially when there's other better fits for him. I think he's a much better fit in Denver, Chicago, even Minnesota than it is New York. I think New York is a sinking ship for a couple of years.
Well,
that's true.
Thing of it is, too, I mean, actually, Minnesota wants to interview 2 candidates for the general manager's job in the Eagles front office.
Yeah, the one woman.
Yeah.
The vice president of football operations. I wish her all the best. I didn't even know that she was there beforehand. So the fact that she came out, that all came out was good. There they go. They're starting to do the chants now. Trey Thomas is there being interviewed by 97.5. They said we got about 300 people here so far.
It's like it's packing in. They're packing them in, baby.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you got to figure. I mean, just behind PSG here, that's where you have Trey Thomas and 97.5 the Fanatic set up. So everybody's kind of crowding the area, including the other side of the fence here, over by the palm trees, where a lot of folks end up stacking up. So they can, take a moment here and listen in as far as what's going on with Trey Thomas. So the only way you'll be able to hear it, unfortunately, would be just like us, unless you're streaming it, because there's no outside speakers at the moment to be able to hear it. So if you're streaming the Fanatic right now, you're hearing Trey Thomas along with the John Kincade show as they're on from 3 to 5 today. And we're fortunate with having John, also with Rob coming on with us, Jamie Lynch. The only one that we missed is Pat Egan. Pat Egan, I will say this much, I've known the guy for years. Interesting character. He's so much fun. He speaks his mind, and it's unbelievable what a guy does. And he's probably been the longest tenure, I want to say, with the Fanatic.
Right. And he's fairly introverted. For somebody who's on the radio and talks as much as he does, he's a fairly introverted guy. He likes to stick to himself and do his thing. And hey, I don't tell anybody how to live their life. So good for him.
That's true.
But he has been there for what? Since the start of that. He's like, I know he looks like he's only 17, 18 years old, but I think he's close to 30.
I think so. Right. He's an ageless wonder because he looks the same. You look at him 10 years ago, he looks the same as he does right now. So he's like the ageless wonder, but that's all right, though. That's a good job by Pat Egan. But I would love to see if we can run into Crystal somewhere.
I tell you what, let me go jump off and I'll go grab her and find her.
Okay.
I think she's inside, so
all right.
Let me go do that and I'll be back. Go Birds! Yeah!
Thanks, PSG. So waiting around and see if we can get a hold of Crystal. Crystal Page was on with us, and she's with the Seattle Seahawks as far as the fan base out there. And we know that she does live here in the local area. I don't know if I'll be able to hang out long enough to speak to Trey, because I don't know if Trey's going to be on there for the entire 2-hour episode, and we run any longer. We're hoping that we keep the fan base around. But before he gets on here, I want to switch the cameras out so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Right now, what you guys are seeing is the outdoor patio. In the background, what you end up seeing, let me turn off the mic here so you're not hearing too much noise, Fuji. My apologies. But what you end up seeing here in the background, obviously you have the outdoor patio. Behind that is the inside of the restaurant, the bar side. And then over to my right, even further back, then you have the restaurant side. Now, if I can switch cameras here and just kind of give me a second, you guys will start seeing, there's Nick. Nick, how are you? There's Crystal. Hold on. Let me switch this back. Crystal, take the seat. Nothing. You're good. All right. First of all, welcome. It's good to see you in person after being on the shows.
Hi. I was going to come give you a hug, but you're like...
We'll hug after we get off here. But listen, thanks for jumping on here with us. Thank you for coming on with us beforehand. We missed you on the show because, we've been constantly busy, so it's kind of tough to have you on here. And we missed you the entire season. But come the off season, I'm pretty sure we end up getting together again so we can talk some Seattle football. But how about this crowd that we see here right now?
The crowd's amazing. Of course, 12s always travel better, but Eagles fans did it. They're here, they're showing up, they're coming in, they're having fun. And, it's definitely a lot warmer than the 3 degrees that they got going on at home today. So I'm sure that they're very happy and hitting up the beach. Even though for us, it's way too cold for the beach.
Yeah, it's definitely true. But listen, we like to, obviously the Eagles play the Bucs here. Seattle, I guess we get a little bit as far as when it comes to Seattle talk, because there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to Seattle. Russell Wilson keeps saying that he wants to stay in Seattle to win another championship. But we hear from players in the past, and you very well know this, every time we hear a player say that they want to stay put, it never works out that way.
Well, from my perspective, and I know I'm not what everybody wants to hear, I'm okay with Russell Wilson going. I don't want to pay him more money.
Crystal, as far as thanks for coming on, appreciate it. What do you think it would take for the Seahawks to trade Russell Wilson?
I would like to get 2 really solid, good players, mostly on our offensive line, and then a couple of draft picks for him. But that's kind of wishful thinking. I don't think we'll get that much. But I would rather trade him this season during the offseason and get some value out of him versus holding on to him until his contract's up, and then he's going to want more money. We can't pay him more money. We're going to cap out. He's proven that he needs a team behind him. He can't take any team past the second week of the playoffs. So we need to do something else. We can't pay him more money.
If you were to say what team would be best for Russell Wilson to go to, what destination do you think would be best suited for him?
Any team Sierra is going to say it's okay. That's really going to be the determining factor for her. I think she's ready to get back to work a lot more than she has been working. And so I would not be shocked if he ended up at the Giants.
Now,
that's
go ahead, Fuchs.
I was going to say, now you said that was probably the best place he probably would go, due to Sierra.
Yeah.
That's true. We just, I'm pretty sure Rick put his out there, but the Eagles already on the ground. But I want to ask you as well, Crystal, does Pete Carroll retire, or did he decide to come back for one more season?
He's coming back for one more season, at least.
So if he retires, here's the magical question now. If he retires, then does Russell Wilson go elsewhere?
Ultimately, I think that's going to be a money factor for him. I think if we do what we did last time and we just pay him whatever it is that he wants to be paid, he's going to stay. If we're not willing to meet those requests that he has as far as the financial side of it, he's going to move on.
Fuji?
I was going to say, as far as Russell Wilson's contract, I believe he's got 2 more years left on his deal, about almost $50 million in that range. That's correct, right?
He's asking if he has about $50 million left on his 2-year deal.
I think it's about $50 million, somewhere around there. I would have to look. Off the top of my head, I would not know, but I know it's way too much money.
I just hope whatever's going to happen. I know Russell Wilson will be a hot commodity. Everybody knows as soon as the NFL season's over after Super Bowl, and then you're talking about then the new NFL season kicking off in March, there's going to be a lot of talking to Russell Wilson. And obviously Sierra is going to make a big decision whether they stay in Seattle, because New York will look attractive. And I think if Danny Dimes is rid of in the Giants, they already know the Jets already has an open spot. But I think if they get rid of Daniel out there in New York, I think Sierra might say that the Giants will look good for Russell Wilson.
Yes. Yeah. I think the Giants would be good for her.
Crystal. Oh, go ahead, Angel. Crystal, as far as Bobby Wagner's concerned, do you see him still playing in the Seahawks uniform next year?
I heard Bobby Wagner and then a whole bunch of Eagles fans screaming in the background.
No, he has. No, I was saying, do you think Bobby Wagner played his last game in the Seahawks uniform?
No, Bobby Wagner won't be back next year.
Yeah.
Why not?
Listen, again, it's hopefully for Seattle, it's a very short offseason. Hopefully it's a very productive one for them. We know that they've done a great job during the draft for many years. I don't expect any less from them because we're going to see what's going to happen here during the offseason. Just like the Eagles are going to have a heck of a time trying to figure out what they want in the draft. My thing, I believe there's both eyes are on Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. At least it's the way I see it. So, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see what's going to end up happening. But I could be wrong. What's going on, buddy?
A lot of things are going to happen behind the scenes this year for the Seahawks during the offseason. I think we're going to see us make more moves than you've seen us make in the last 4 years. You think, like last year for the draft, we basically had 2 picks because of our trade for Jamal Adams. So next year, this upcoming year, is going to be a whole different game. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I am a diehard Seahawks fan. Russell Wilson, no Russell Wilson. I'm always going to be loyal to my team. And like I said, I'm perfectly okay with seeing him go.
Let's hope. Let's see. Listen, thank you for taking a moment to step in here on the hot seat and has well end up taking it. But listen, congratulations, obviously, to the season what Seattle had. And please, before you sign off here, let everybody know how they can find your great content.
Oh, mine?
Yes.
Oh, dear Lord. You can find me on Facebook or TikTok at Crystal Page, or just Google Cutie Hawk, and I'll pop up.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Crystal, enjoy the Eagles crowd. I know it's not the green that you want to see, but enjoy here the festivities here tonight in Tampa. We do appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you so much, and I finally understand how Jamie feels being the bird in the wrong nest.
That's true. All right. Listen, enjoy yourself. Have a couple on me at the moment until I get done here, and then I can enjoy myself with a couple of beverages along with Eagles fans.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Jump on, Rick. We're going to get Rick Marcus here. Great friend of the show. Thank you too. Rick, by all means. Sorry, folks, I was talking here to Crystal. All right, so now, for everyone to know exactly the man behind the other side here, and sorry for the echo, Rick, it's a little bit tough. Rick Marcus, who's been with us since damn near the very beginning. Responsible for the Eagles arriving in Tampa. He wanted to make sure that they arrived and then that they landed. So thankfully, he delivered them over to the hotel, so they're just fine. But Rick, again, great friend of the show. Rick, we thank you for coming with the rest of the Bird Gang out here.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and
Totally amazing.
To think all this was put together this week, and it was thanks to Philly Sports Trips, the Philly Pretzel Factory, Hooters, 97.5 The Fanatic, where Trey Thomas is live right now on The Fanatic. And then obviously to both my sponsors, one being Philly Sports Trips and the other one being Tampa Joe's with Mike Goodwin here. For the fans, and we talk about week after week on the show, I want you being the longest one tenured here, along with the rest of us. Can you explain to the folks the atmosphere here in Tampa Joe's during the football season?
First of all, the weather gods are definitely cooperating.
Yeah.
Secondly, I didn't even realize there were this many Philly fans here, and I've been in Florida since '91. I guess I'm not too far from where Crystal lives, the Oldsmar area.
Right.
And even down there, what you had some of your earlier guests, they talk about how you almost feel like you're not out of Philly when you're here. You'll meet somebody from Philly or South Jersey. But the atmosphere today is just unbelievable. And I got to say this while I'm here. I got to meet Fuji. I want to shake the man's hand. I think he's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for coming on and finally get to meet you.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. I mean, to me, you're a mystery man. I always heard your name, see your comments popping up, and thanks for coming on. I was actually going to reach out to you earlier in the week about possibly going down there, which I should have, and I'm sorry I didn't know.
I wanted to grab you a ticket to get you down here and surprise Angel.
See that? You should have reached
out. I deeply appreciate that.
Anytime, buddy.
You should have reached out.
That means the world.
Listen, we're expecting obviously a sellout crowd here under the tent. Again, things just got started here about 37 minutes ago. The fans have been here since early. We kicked off this party at 1:30 in the afternoon. We are now on for almost 2 hours at this point. Actually, it's been over 2 hours that we've been on. I can't even explain the feeling here. First of all, being 75 degrees down here in Tampa, seeing all these fine folks and the smiling face and everything else, it makes you think about everything else that's going on in this world. You can just forget about it for a moment and just enjoy this moment here with everybody. And I keep saying to Fuji over and over again that life, number one, is all about choices. Number two, we all know that we have to keep ourselves healthy and everything else, but you have to enjoy life. These are the moments that you'll never get back. And for us, just being this moment in the Eagles playoff atmosphere in Tampa, which truthfully, this should be a Buccaneers fan base, but the Eagles have taken over here, and they keep taking over, and hopefully we'll be here with many years to come with Mike Goodwin, as we had him on earlier. It's just soaking this all in. It's such a good feeling that I don't think tonight I'll be able to sleep. Only come tomorrow. And look, Dr. Fauci, he's right here. He just walked in. See him?
Oh, God.
Looks just like him. It's crazy, isn't it?
Let me tell you something. As I was driving here, I had to stop before I got here. And you guys are right in the flight path of where the Eagles, they flew right over top of. So they were on an American Airlines flight. The charter I knew was set up yesterday. I believe they're actually staying at the hotel, which is over there by the International Plaza.
Yeah.
That's usually where they stay. And I know that people were asking on Facebook and everything like that. So that's where I would check it out. And I thought about following the buses over to the hotel, but I wanted to see. I heard so much about what was going on over here that I knew at some point I had to be here, and I figured the earlier the better.
It sounds like it's rocking right there.
It is. I can tell you where the tent is set up right now. There's got to be, I would say, probably close to 100 folks out there. Mind you, the cars, the motorcycles, everything is still coming in, Fuji. So we're not even done yet filling this place up. That's how
I believe it.
It's coming in from both sides. But sorry, one more Buck fan pulled up. But I swear, if I can get this guy on, he is exactly like Dr. Fauci. Am I not?
Amazing.
Maybe it's just doppelganger. Who knows?
It could be. Maybe you know how they have a stun double. That might be a stun double. So he may take a break from DC and decide to come down here.
I hope he doesn't bust me for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, hopefully not. Well, he would be outnumbered here anyway, so you wouldn't be able to do so. But listen, I will say, Rick, thank you once again for just tuning in every single week, for being a great friend. I know we saw each other here earlier this year when I tried to get everything worked out, but I did get some good news from Mike Goodwin. As he said, he's going to get everything lined up for next season. So we'll have a hardwire connection so we can just at least be able to have a smoother broadcast down here. I'm thankful, though, that it's been running pretty smooth today, minus the echo. But I'm really thankful it's been working. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate everything.
And Fuji, you just get in touch with Angel. Anytime you want to come down, give me a holler. I got your back.
Appreciate it. Actually, Angel did give me your number the other day, and I'm sorry I didn't use it. I'm really kicking myself in the ass now.
Hey, it's not too late.
I appreciate it.
It's not too late.
It sure isn't.
Can you make it by tomorrow morning?
I could.
Listen, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. But listen, Rick, thank you for coming on. By the way,
I'll be in touch with you.
Unfortunately, the sun is
heading.
It's hitting the webcam, so I couldn't see the banner real good. So I'm going to try and see if I can, or unless if you want to hold up the banner, you end up bringing.
Yeah.
That way I can show it here.
Should get an Eagles chant going back there. Get everybody fired up. Let's go. Come on. Get everybody fired up behind. Get PSG over there and the rest of those guys. Get that chant going, baby. Come on,
well, the thing is,
go Birds. Come on.
There you go.
Now you're getting me hyped up.
There you go. So you're in Eagles country. That's good banner.
You should get an Eagles chant going there.
Rick, thank you so much.
You got it.
Rick, get an Eagles chant.
Listen, Fuji, it's getting it. The problem is, obviously, Trey Thomas is taking majority of the attention, rightfully so. Right. But he's getting majority of the attention here. So it's and I'm going to see if I can. The sun here.
Yeah, it's kind of like the glare. You can see it coming off of the camera there. I'm there in spirit.
It's on the so Trey Thomas is to the left along with the Fanatic, and then you got Mike Duck Klein coming up. I guess I'll speak to him because definitely going to give him 15 minutes.
Bring on the Kleiner.
Yeah, the Klein clown.
What's this?
Hold on, I'm going to bring on the other lady here who's helped out so much, Michelle. So you can end up meeting Michelle Hunley as well. Again, it's a lot of things, people. Thankfully, even though I see only about 4 people on here, but I thank everybody who tuned in today. Obviously, we've been running a little extended for today. And by the way, tomorrow, the pregame show will commence at 11:30 with Fuji and Matt Rogers. Everybody tune in for that one. It should be good come tomorrow.
And I will be at South House for the post-game show with the guys from MEOP. Danny Sheeran, Big Al, and Tom Kelly. So everybody tune in there for the post-game live at South House down in South Philly. 2413 South 13th Street. Check us out. Come down, tune in. We'll be live on all media outlets. Be breaking down the victory party. And here he comes, the king of Philly of the South.
Yeah, he's on. Don't wreck it there, Slick.
I want that Seth Joyner jersey. There he is, the man. Good. How are you? How you feeling?
Right, hang on, Mikey. I gotta unmute you here. Go ahead.
Don't ask me too many technical questions.
How the hell are you?
I said, don't ask me too many technical questions.
How you feeling?
This is crazy, man.
Right, listen, we talked about it, right, throughout the week to see what happens. And by the way, for everyone who's tuning in every single week, because unfortunately this guy gets really shy. Don't ask me why. Only on camera does Mike get shy. Because any other time he's busting my balls all the time, just as much I bust his. But I will say for Mike Klein, obviously we've been friends now for over 3 years. Right, really good friends. Obviously part of here to Philly South. And he's been with us here since day one. He's got to put on his cool shades because obviously the reflection off the sun here. There you go. But Mike Klein, owner and operator of Philly to South. Obviously, the fan base has grown from Philly to South. And added that, with the promotion, Mike, this is quite amazing.
Yes, it is. And they are still coming in. And I actually got a parking space up front there.
Did you?
Well, you know, since I'm the founder of the club, I guess they felt like they reserved me one. I got lucky.
Tell everybody how long you've been the president.
Getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah, well, yeah, the echo. The only thing that's kind of tough. Fuji, can you guys speak just a little bit louder for Mike to hear you?
Oh,
and of course now he put something in his mouth so he can't talk.
Great.
I don't think so. Anyway, say.
Hey, Mike. He doesn't have his Brady 12 shirt on, so.
No, he's got it hidden in the closet at home.
Yeah, there's no closet out here. There, genius, as you can see out here.
He might be sitting on it, keeping his butt dry, but
that's always a good analogy. But Mike, tell everybody how long you've been the president of Philly to South.
I can't hear him.
So he's asking. He said it. Let everybody know how long you've been club president and owner of Philly South.
This is our 28th season, and still don't know what that chant's about. This is our 28th year in Tampa, and like the first year we had 17 people. Now we have well over 1,000, and I'd say 600 or 700 of them are in the Bay Area. And this thing is only going to get bigger, man. I wish you were down here, brother. This thing is crazy. People are piling up everywhere. So,
believe me, I'm kicking myself in the ass right now. I should have just
he has marbles in his mouth. He's saying he's kicking himself in the ass right now.
Why does he have marbles in his mouth?
I don't know.
The two ice for a minute. I'm out of water. I'm out of water in my cup. So I had the two ice for a minute.
You need to get out. Mike, you need to get out of the basement. That's the problem, man.
But listen, so obviously the huge collaboration today, right, to put all this stuff together.
Yes,
so between Broad Street South, Philly to South, Philly Sports Trips, and Tampa Joe's, along with the Pretzel Factory back in Philly.
And a whole lot of other people that we don't know that just posted it.
Right.
Whatever. But, yeah, I mean.
Trey Thomas.
We're going to look back on this, in later years. I mean, the best thing is it was a group cooperation, and we did it all, like, in 5 days.
Right.
And it's crazy.
It is.
Tampa-Delphia don't have nothing like this, man.
Oh, of course not. And they never will because, listen, just like Philly Sports Trips, right? You travel with the pros, you got to hang with the pros when it comes down to it, right? So let's be real here. Everybody can say whatever they want to. As far as when it comes to I'm not even going to put those two words together.
I know.
But if everybody wants to be here, Philly to South is a place to be, just with Broad Street South, the same exact way. So I'm not even worried about as far as what those guys end up doing over there, because to me it makes absolutely no sense. And I know he got all excited about the 6 people that were there last night, I guess when the local Tampa station showed up. But you had Chris Connolly here yesterday. Obviously had to interview us while we were here live yesterday from 6 to 10 in the morning, which was a lot of fun. But you bring in someone from Philly, okay, not local here from Tampa, because you don't see a local TV station down here.
No.
Because they're going to be over there with the Crickets and everybody else, with maybe the 2 fan base that they have over there.
And Fuji, there's not a Cowboy shirt anywhere in sight, man.
Nice, beautiful. That's a beautiful
Here
thing.
we go again.
Sean Kilrain just came in with some big news here, Ranger.
Yeah, I see where he says this just sent pretty big news. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are set to activate linebacker Levante David and running back Giovanni Bernard off the injury reserve ahead of their playoff game with the Philadelphia Eagles. A source told ESPN Jenny Lane. However, running back Leonard Fournette will not come in IR for the contest. So
Text them when I get a chance.
Yeah, Fournette's been out since week 16.
Eagles.
Miss that one.
That's actually big news for that Tampa Bay defense with Levante David coming back. But no Leonard Fournette, so I mean Giovanni Bernard's a nice piece for Tom Brady.
Right? You know who that is on the card, right?
Yeah.
It said text. Text him when you get a chance. All right, I'm gonna move around.
No. Okay.
I'll come back.
Okay. All right, Mike. Listen, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you for
Take
the
care.
guys
Go
going,
Birds.
man. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
I see a lot of cameras coming up, and that's because Trey Thomas once again is out there live with the Fanatics. So great probability there, Fucci, that we may not get Trey Thomas on here unless we decide to go up until the 5 o'clock hour. But he's out there speaking right now. There's obviously lots of cameras out there by everybody taking pictures of Trey Thomas, which was nice. And by the way, thanks to Mark Farzetta and a couple other people behind the scenes, along with my guy here on the other side here, Fuji, for making sure that Trey Thomas can end up coming in.
And thanks to Mark Farzetta, this guy Josh who works for him, for reaching out, getting Trey Thomas in the matter of a day or so, not even. Mark Farzetta and Josh were right on there, and thanks again to those guys for taking care of business and getting all this, the Trey Thomas thing arranged and getting the job done there. Much appreciated to you guys.
It was really good to have him on here. But listen, again, I think the odds, unfortunately, we're getting Trey Thomas on. It's going to be really hard. I keep forgetting to mute the other mic here. But it might be a little bit hard to get Trey Thomas on because, again, he might be on the entire broadcast out there with the Fanatics. And I'm pretty sure that's why he came down here, other than meeting green people for the next 2 hours after that. But it's thanks to, once again, Philly Sports Trips for coming down, bringing the fans down here. And I think they said they brought about 120 down from Philadelphia. Thanks to the Philadelphia Pretzel Factory for bringing down the Fanatic along with Hooters. We do really appreciate them adding to it. And I want to switch as I did earlier because I want to make sure everybody gets to see the outside as well. So if you guys can see there's a crowd building up under the tent, and there's still Fuji, more people coming in.
I believe it.
So,
I mean, hey, Eagles fans travel first class, the best. Go with Philly Sports Trips. You won't be disappointed. The best in the business. Vince and the crew. Check out the website, phillysportstrips.com. You won't be disappointed. You go first class with Vince all the way.
Yep, listen. Again, I thought about as far as the people being out here. I will say that much because that's kind of like what we expected. The grill's finally getting fired up, as I can see it behind me here. So they're getting the burgers and dogs. I'm trying to say two things at once, and I screw myself up here. But you got the burgers and dogs going on here. They're getting the grill fired up, which is a great thing. And by the way, if you are coming down here, it is only on the outside. Number one, it's a $5 cover charge. And number two, it's cash only. So I want to make sure I point both things out there. But as far as the crowd out here, and we're getting, from what I understand, from Vince was telling us earlier, there is the trolley that's bringing in folks from Clearwater Beach over here. So as it's making its trip back and forth, they're not even done yet bringing the fans over here. So I would imagine within the next hour, it's other than beyond a sellout crowd right now, it's going to be utterly ridiculous in here. So I'm pretty sure this will go past easily past 7 o'clock.
No, possibly may stop in there. No, Tom McCarthy's doing the Eagles game on Westwood 1 today, and he was on earlier with Mark Farzetta this week. So he's going to be calling the Eagles game in Tampa on the radio, on national radio. So you never know. He could pop in. You know, being right there at Clearwater's a stone's throw away from where you're at. So you never know. You never know who's possible popping. I mean, Channel 29, Fox 29 yesterday. You know, could have some local some more Philly celebrities coming down there. Who the hell knows?
Well, same way, like we just find out that Devontae Smith, his parents are going to end up being here as well. So I would love to talk to both of them. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Phenomenal work ethic from that young man. Going to be a stud in the making.
That's right. Now, Fuji, the same way I asked the question, but I didn't ask it to you directly. And I'm going to ask you now. The big thing here is, I know you were upset when the Eagles passed on CeeDee Lamb. And I know you preferred for him to be an Eagle, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. Do you still feel upset that CeeDee Lamb ended up in Dallas? Because the same way I asked Big Sarge on his radio show, and then when he was with us as well, I think Devontae Smith, and again, it's only one man's opinion, but to me, I believe that Devontae Smith has a much, much better upside than it comes to CeeDee Lamb.
Time will tell. I mean, to me, I like the big physical receivers, but Howie just has this. The Eagles, going back to the Andy Reid era, for whatever reason, they just like to draft these small guys that are, just need to bulk up a little. And Devontae Smith, he's coming into his own. I mean, it's a shame, he just didn't get the ball more this year, even though he just broke Deshaun Jackson's rookie record. I mean, the Eagles got to get going after the season, not to go that far into it, but the Eagles need to beef up this receiving corps. I mean, Quez Watkins has flashes. I mean, Jalen Reagor, we don't know, but Howie's going to have to go out and address the wide receiver position in free agency. I'm sorry. You need to go out and get 2 big-name receivers, or at least one, and a third receiver.
Hang on, Fooch. I'm trying to see if I can wave Trey down. Could you possibly get Trey's attention so he's going to come over with us? Trey Thomas in the all right, I'm going to see if I can get Trey over here. I gotta wait for my producer to go over there and try and give him a wave and see what happens. Let me see if I can get a hold of Vince. See if we can get Trey over here.
Trey over here?
Yeah. Hang on. Vince is going to try and recruit over here.
Hold on, folks. We're trying to get Trey Thomas. Big Trey, number 72.
Yeah, he's coming
Florida
over.
State, number 1 pick, 1998. Let me
hang on. I got to switch cameras here. We'll get Trey over here. Okay. Yeah, he's going to make his way on over here. So
nice.
This would be nice to have Trey Thomas on, and hopefully we won't lose a feed or anything else. I know we're getting the shadow, unfortunately, when it comes to the sun.
Yeah, you can see it a little bit in the background there. Even your camera's starting to get.
Yeah, it's the sun glare. It's that time of the day. That's
right. Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can maybe flip this one around from the top. Give me a second. Let me see if I can play around these cameras. Not there. Huh? All right. Well, we got to wait. He went inside the bar, so hopefully he'll make his way around.
Angel, can you see me, or are you having trouble?
Or is it kind of like Give me a second.
You got the sun behind you too. So.
Yeah, no, I can hear you and I can see you.
As I was saying about the wide receiver position, I think Cowie's going to have to address it in the offseason. Jalen Hurts is going to need a couple weapons, at least from the receiver position. That's just my take on into 2022.
Right. Give me, hang on, I'm trying to get the screens here. So I'm just coming into one here. See what happens.
Hold on, folks. We're trying to address these technical difficulties on Angels end, but anybody has any questions, fire away, and
there we go.
I'll try to be more than happy to answer what you can throw at me. We thank everybody for tuning in, staying on with us. We appreciate the love, all the support. 109 episodes, and feel free to fire any comments away.
So I had the screen flipped around, Fuji, so you can, well, he'll be able to see you once he ends up coming on here.
Right
now, until Trey gets over here. So I want to say, and Michelle, I got kind of two cameras going here. I got one here, and now it's one on the other side. But Michelle, first of all, let me say thank you for helping us coordinate all this that happened here. So we appreciate it. Number one, for you being part of Philly South, being actually the president over the one that's out there running his mouth all over the place. But listen, thank you for your help. Thank you for putting together, and we appreciate everything you're doing.
How you doing,
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you for coming.
Hey guys,
on. How are you?
Yeah, it's a great day. I just did a Facebook Live on the Philly of the South Facebook page, so go and check it out. So everybody's very excited to be out here. Seems they're all having a good time. So we love it. It's great. Trey Thomas is here. He seems to be having a good time. So
thank you.
We are turning Tampa green.
The only way to do it. We travel well. We are the best fans in the NFL. We take over every place. We could take over the world if we wanted to.
Exactly. We're taking over Tampa for sure.
You know what? Get the Eagles flag and stick it right in the right on the field there. Stick that right in.
We got
there.
Eagle stuff hanging everywhere around here. We're passing out the swag, so everything's going good.
It's a sea of green. We're just taking it over.
There's no red anywhere around here. It's all green.
Nope, not at all.
So,
looks like
thanks for helping put us all together today. We've been having a great time. So
anytime, glad to do it. Glad to help out in any way. If Philly South ever needs anything, you know where to come.
Hey, this has to be an annual thing. You know, like let's just get it on the calendar for next year.
Make it a national Eagles holiday.
Exactly, yeah.
National Philadelphia Eagles holiday, baby. We'll get this party started. Let's go. Now I'm getting fired.
That's right. So, Trey Thomas will be stopping by in just a minute. So,
Big Trey, number 72. Number one pick out of Florida State, 1998. William Trey Thomas.
Yes, good. So, I'm being called, so I got to go.
All right. Enjoy. Go Birds. EAGLES.
Thank you, Michelle. We're waiting. Here comes Trey. They're making his way on over this way.
FSU product. Directed by Ray Rhodes. Was that the DJ back there outside? I just hear that echo going.
He's on my left here.
Sounds like a drum beating.
No, it's just the bass coming off from the speaker.
Okay. There's PSG at. I'm sure he's getting all fired up now. And
he's right behind Trey Thomas.
Sure, he's starting to feel no pain soon.
Oh, I'm definitely sure. And now PSG's getting his picture.
There he comes.
He's getting stopped by everybody here. He's being run over.
That'll be another 5 minutes.
Could be.
Shaking hands and kissing babies and all that.
Exactly. Trey, what's going on, man? How are you?
How you doing?
Good.
You ready?
I sure am.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, Trey, you might hear a slight echo just in case. But listen, the last time that I saw Trey, see if you can, the last time I saw Trey, can you hear me a little bit more?
Huh?
You can hear me?
Can you turn my headphones up?
I'm going to try here and see. Is there any difference or the same?
Okay, that's better.
That's better.
Big
Okay.
Trey, welcome.
Listen, last time I saw Trey Thomas, now obviously other than the playing field, if you remember, the last time I ended up seeing you was Brandon Lee Gowton and myself and Jimmy Seltzer up in the studios in 94 WIP.
Oh, okay.
And now that day when I saw you, because you were busy doing other things and I know you were making your way out, so I asked for a picture then. Once you stood up, because obviously you're tree size for anybody who's seen you. But I was not asking for a picture then, but I know you were running off and doing so many different things. But here we are 2 years later, you coming down here at Tampa Joe's, and we appreciate you coming out here. But listen, Trey, first of all, thank you so much for what you did for the Eagles. Obviously, the invaluable time you had with the organization, we appreciate it. Obviously, you're going to be an Eagle for life, no matter what ends up happening. And all the success that you've had even after your years of football. We appreciate everything you did in the community, everything you continue to do for us. And as far as coming out here for us today, I know it's kind of last minute to try and put everything together, but we appreciate you coming over with us today, man. I can't thank you enough.
Alrighty, man. Yeah, because I'm right here in Bradenton. I was coaching at IMG. So once I heard about this event, I was like, hey, man, I reached out and I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I come over here and hang out. Since everybody's right here so close, I got to come hang out with family.
Trey, what?
Again,
Go ahead, Angel. Trey, Mike Fuji, co-host Broad Street South. I want to thank you for coming on. Appreciate you doing this last minute. Thank you for your services for the Eagles. What's your take of this game tomorrow?
I think it's going to be a physical game. I mean, this is you're in the playoffs, and you have a young team that's coming up there to go against Tom Brady, and I think that this team is going to come out here on fire. They're going to be ready to go. This is a proven game for them, and I think that the coaching staff has done a good job to get these guys ready. I think when you have a young core like this, and you have your Kelsey, you have your Fletcher Cox, the leaders in this group, I think they're going to do whatever they got to do to get these guys ready to come out there and go to war.
As far as go ahead. I'll wait.
As far as when it comes to Jalen, Trey, and we know that we've heard so many different things about Jalen Hurts. Young quarterback, obviously first-year head coach, first-year offensive coordinator. I mean, it's just a first for Jalen. For what the expectations were in the beginning of the season, and now what we see at this point from Jalen Hurts, the expectations keep rising upon himself because he's just like Donovan McNabb. He takes a lot of responsibility for himself. And you hear this young man, the maturity in him, and knowing what he's responsible for when it comes to this offense. We've seen, again, leading up to the start of the season at 2-5, and then when the Eagles coming up to this point here. And Jalen, we know there's still a lot of work to be done. But as Jalen Hurts, and I know we hear from the NFL.com, we hear from the ESPNs of the world, is Jalen Hurts our quarterback of the future here with the Eagles?
Yeah, I think so. I like him. I really like him as an athlete. I like him as a leader. And I think he's just going to continue to develop. He's only in his second year, he's going to get better. The more experience he gets out there, the more times he gets to see different looks, those blitzes and everything, he's going to get better. And I think that he has the poise and the leadership to be able to carry this team and put it on his shoulders. I think that also you have someone like a Kelsey, there's some other guys that's in there, especially when you have leaders on your offensive line, that it can only help a young quarterback that's continued to trying to find his voice with a team.
Fuji?
Trey, you played against Tom Brady in Super Bowl 39. What's it going to take to get to Brady just to knock him around?
I think it's going to take pressure. I mean, you have to look at it as, Tom Brady is going to be a guy that's going to get rid of the ball pretty quick. So every rush should be trying to get there by 2 seconds. When you look at the average 7-step drop is taken between 2 to 2.7 seconds. So, every time 2.5. So every time that he drops back, you want to be putting that helmet on him. You want to make him uncomfortable. You want to put as much pressure on him as possible, and you have to be able to do it with your front four. Because if you bring the blitz, he knows where he wants to go with the ball, and that can hurt you.
That's true. Now, speaking of, you mentioned Kelsey here momentarily, and we also know that he's up for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. How much has Jason Kelsey meant to this team, and obviously for being recognized as the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and then we hope that obviously he ends up taking it. How much has Kelsey meant, obviously, number one, for the Eagles, and number two, do we see Kelsey back here again as an Eagle next year?
I think you see him back as an Eagle for next year, just because he's playing really good football right now, and when you're playing good ball, it's hard to even think about walking away. Now, as far as what he makes to the team, I think when you have a leader like Kelsey, someone he could mail it in if he wanted to. Just because, everything that he's done in this city and everything that he's done out there on that field, he's a Super Bowl champion, multiple Pro Bowls. He's on his way to having a Hall of Fame career. He could mail it in if he wanted to. But he's out there every play giving you everything that he has. And how can you not follow him? And it's not just about all the rah-rah talk, because guys see through that extremely quick. So when you have a guy like Kelsey that's day in, day out at every practice, in every game, he's giving it everything. How can you not follow him? And he's not afraid to show his multiple sides, because everybody's like, oh, man, football player, you got to be tough, all this all the time. But when he got in front of that team and he cried, I think that right there spoke to a lot of those guys, and it showed his vulnerability and his willingness to show everything that he is. And I think, how can you not follow that as a player?
That's absolutely true. Listen, I'm dying to see, and I hope and pray that Jason Kelsey is able to walk away with it. Go ahead, Fuji.
Trey, as far as you playing for Andy Reid all those years, can you see any similarities in Nick Sirianni as Andy Reid had been? Nobody knew who Nick Sirianni was, just being under Frank Reich with the Indianapolis Colts, and Andy Reid just being the quarterback's coach under Mike Holmgren. Do you see any similarities at all in Nick Sirianni?
I think what Sirianni does is that's like what Coach Reid does. And one of the things I think that helped Coach Reid throughout his career, he allowed his players to be what they were. He never wanted us to be anything else than whatever we were. Just be yourself. And that's going to, when you're being yourself, you're going to play better. You're going to do things. And he trusts his leaders to step up and lead the group. And as a coach, that's all you want to do. You want to build up a core of leaders that can shift. You allow them to be what they are. And I think that's one of the things that Sirianni is doing really well, is just trusting his players and just let them be whatever they are to get out there and go to battle.
I want to say, obviously, the defense we've seen it compared to when you played to now what we see the Eagles here in 2021. It's been small miscues when it comes to the defense, but in the last 5 to 6 weeks, we've seen the defense keep the offense in all game long. We know the Eagles always end up having, for some odd reason, I don't know why, but the slow first half. But again, the defense keeps them into the half. And then leading on as far as the Chargers in the second half. I want to know from you, Trey, if come off this draft season, and we know I think this class in particular, it's more loaded on the defensive side than we've seen with quarterbacks and running backs coming off the draft here. What will the Eagles need to do in this draft, or even some veterans that are out there when it comes to free agency, because we know that the season kicks back off again in March once they close it off. What will the Eagles need to do, and Howie Roseman, in order to make this defense even better than what it is right now?
Man, draft anybody that played in this last national championship game in Georgia and Alabama. You need to take whatever linebacker, pass rushers, defensive lineman, secondary player, receiver, whatever they have over there that just was in that SEC game. That's who you'd be going after. I think that they have a lot of talent out there. And I think they need linebacker help. I think you need to invest in that. But you ought to always be looking for weapons. But I think you don't need to go out there and spend one of those first-round picks on a quarterback. You definitely don't need that, because I think that Hurts could be your guy.
As far as when it comes to Nick Sirianni, we know that it was a surprise by everyone. I don't think anybody obviously knew who Nick Sirianni was, other than obviously in Indianapolis. We did hear from a lot of the fan base out there, and Michael Terrazas, who actually works for the Indianapolis Colts, he mentioned how much leadership that Nick Sirianni has. Now, we heard the speech with him when he came on. I think I want to say about almost 10 weeks at this point, when he talked about planting the seed in the fertilizer, growing it. And a lot of people made fun back then as far as what he had to state. Now, it's almost like the laugh that he has on everybody. Not that he's laughing at anybody, don't get me wrong. But the leadership that he's brought and to bring these guys together, is it almost the same comparison that we saw with Dougie P in 2017 when the Eagles were making that run?
Yeah, and now the Flowers speech, it kind of spoke to me, because I'm a person that I had a plant that was, it was wiltering, and it was going down, but I spent some time with it. I changed it, I repotted it, I put it in different soil. I started putting it outside a little bit more, giving it a little bit more care. And now it's grown to be a nice, beautiful plant. But, I think that a lot of people listen to that and they're like, man, what the hell are you talking about? What is that? But I think that, it spoke to something. And I think that as players, you use whatever you got to do to get through to these guys. And I think that as a leader, as a coach, that he's just trying to find whatever way that he can motivate these guys and get them to go. And then you just lean on your leaders. You lean on your leaders, and once you lean on your leaders, and if they can go out there and carry this group, they'll be okay. Especially when you have someone like Kelsey. I think that that's extremely huge with this offense and with this team. That you have someone that's having a Hall of Fame career that's day in, day out battling. Because too many times you've had big name guys that wasn't performing to the level that we expected their name to be. But Kelsey is that guy, and I think that really helps this team.
Yeah.
Trey, as far as Jordan Mailata being a 7th-round pick, being a rugby player from Australia, coming into his own as the starting left tackle, do you see a lot of similarities of yourself and Jordan Mailata?
We play a little bit of different games, because he's coached by Coach Stoutland. Coach Stoutland has a different technique compared to what Juan was teaching me. But I think that he's extremely athletic. I think he's a much better run blocker than I am, especially at that height, someone that can play from a 2-point stance. My specialty was pass protection. That's where I laid I butter my bread, and that's what I think that I excelled at. But I think Jordan Mailata is a lot more well-rounded when it comes to being able to be a better run blocker as well. And I think he's definitely developing to being an extremely good left tackle for a long time in this league.
Now, I want to ask, since you're here in front of me here, and everybody who's tuned in, we have Trey Thomas here, former Eagle, who and Florida resident, which, by the way, we're not that far away from each other, but I'll tell you after we get off here. But I will say, as the Hall of Fame ballots keep coming around, Donovan McNabb, is he a first-time Hall of Famer?
What, this year?
I think so.
They have him on the ballot. I don't keep up with all that, so I don't know.
He's eligible, I believe, not this year, come next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep up with all that. I don't worry about that. I mean, if he makes it, cool, good for him. I'll go to it, and get in. I'll be at his thing in the plan, but I don't keep up with that. It's not something I really keep on my radar.
That's right. But it's okay. We're hoping to obviously come tomorrow. We know the weather might be a little rough when it comes to Eagles come tomorrow. But you can see, obviously, the fan base here, Trey, which is just kind of crazy when you think about it down here at Tampa Joe's. It goes to show you, not only do we travel in numbers as far as Eagles fans, but the transplants that have moved down here from Philly, Jersey, Delaware. I mean, this fan base, you can't get any better than this. So even though I know that I would say about 10%, 20% of Ray J obviously belong to the Eagles, the only reason why the Buccaneers have filled up that stadium was because of Tom Brady and what he did last year. Because anybody who lives here locally in this area, what you see this year and last year out of Tampa Bay, you would never seen it before if Tom Brady wasn't there. And not taking anything away from Jameis Winston, and it's a shame what happened to him in New Orleans because he was making such a great comeback. Compared to what happened to him here in Tampa Bay, he made a believer even out of me, because he was having such a strong season. And I'm pretty sure as long as he builds up his confidence, Jameis Winston's going to be just fine for New Orleans. And he could be obviously the bigger replacement for Drew Brees. But this fan base, as you see here, and it continues to grow because we're not even done yet. Obviously, we'll be here till 7 o'clock, and more than likely, probably after 7, because you're not going to get rid of their fan base here. What does it mean to Nick Sirianni and the Eagles having this kind of atmosphere here in Tampa Bay?
Oh, it means everything. I mean, it makes it home, and you know that the Eagles fans, they travel well, and it's always been that support there, and that's one of the things that you love as a player. They know that when you're never in an environment that you don't see an Eagles fan. Like even when you walk the streets and you see somebody with an Eagle something on, you always acknowledge, you always speak, you always know that you're not alone. And especially when you're in games like this, when you could be going into a hostile environment. You know that you have a fan base up there that's going to be support you. You know that you're going to have somebody that's going to cheer for you, and that means something as a player when you're out there on that field.
Yeah, the one last thing here I'm saying is, as far as you, and thank you again for taking the time for speaking with us here at Broad Street South. But what is your biggest takeaway that you could say that you learned from the NFL from the time you entered to your retirement from the NFL?
I think that the dedication to your work, whatever you're doing. I mean, I think that one of the things that allowed me to last so long as I did in the NFL was just the attention to detail and not be afraid of being corrected. A lot of times people can't take correction, and I'm okay with that. And I think that makes you better. And I think that that's one of the things that helped me as I continue to progress through my NFL career and through life. And I think that correction is cool. Coaching is cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You take that and you learn from it, and you try to get better from it. And I think that that's one of the things I take from throughout my career.
Well, listen, I'm, again, forever grateful you being an Eagle because we appreciate everything you did for the team. It's great to see, obviously, you're still in contact with them, which we absolutely love and appreciate. We hope for a win come tomorrow because it's much needed. But I will ask one last thing here. If the Eagles are able to, well, actually two. One is San Fran, I believe, takes care of Dallas because I don't think Dallas is able to even match what San Fran is doing right now and being one of the hotter teams in the NFL. So I think that's one thing. San Fran takes care of business. But if the Eagles, let's say hypothetically, Eagles take care of business today, can they beat Green Bay in Green Bay?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would never say that this team can lose to someone. Like anytime I go into the season, I'm like the worst person to talk to. Everybody like, all right, man. Hey, what's your season projection? I'm always picking 17-0. I cannot. As a player, I would never say, hey, we're gonna lose this game. How can you think like that? If you thinking like that, hell, your ass shouldn't be out there. And that's just how, as a player, and it's carried on throughout this. Because anytime anybody, like, hey, man, what's your season projection? We go 17-0. So I don't care who we play against. They go to Green Bay, I think we get that win. No matter what the weather condition is, whatever the situation is, we get that win. And that's how you should. That should always be everybody's mindset anytime you get ready to go to battle.
I think so too. So I'm just happy. Fuji, I don't know if you have one last thing here before I let Trey go.
Trey, I'm going to ask you, what's your prediction for tomorrow, Eagles Bucks?
I think we win. I don't have a score. I don't really care about the score. I think we do whatever it takes to get the win. If we can keep, I think if we can keep Tampa Bay under 24, I like our chances.
Nice.
I like our chances. We get out there and we get some plays. I think we keep them under 24. We come out of here with a win.
True. Again, we just hope for the win, obviously, for everyone to be healthy. I know Josh Sweat could be possibly a scratch. We hope not, but we'll see what happens. Listen, Trey, thank you so much for stopping by and talking to us. I know you had the opportunity to talk with the Fanatic, and listen, much continued success. As I know you could be working on other things, but we do appreciate you coming on with us, and I'm forever grateful and thankful for you being an Eagle.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Trey, for calling on.
Fuji, give me 1 second here.
T-L-E-S Eagles. Come on, everybody, let's get fired up for tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Eagles Bucks. Fire in any questions you can. We're here to, I don't know how much longer we're on, but we're going on 3 hours. Probably the longest show we've ever done, but fire some predictions of the score for tomorrow, folks. We're going to take a poll. If anybody's watching. Tomorrow I will be on 11:30 with Matty Rogers and also Jen McGraw. And also I'll be in.
Listen, just got confirmation that I said to Trey, we'll have him on again next week, and he said that's fine. So we'll expect to be with us here next week. That's a great thing about when you live down here in Florida, you can have the local connection. So that's a great thing by Trey is he's going to make his way around. But listen,
You're breaking up.
I'm going to flip. No one can see here.
You froze up a little.
I know the sun's going to the sun's going to be the sun glare, unfortunately, because now the sun's obviously going down in the west. But as you guys can see here, a wall-to-wall, and again, the crowd is still coming in, so we're not even done here yet. But I'm glad we had the opportunity of speaking with, obviously, with Trey Thomas. It's absolutely fantastic as he's now kissing babies and shaking hands with everybody. And I thank for everybody who tuned in today for our 3-hour marathon here for this point. And Fuji, thanks for coming on with me today. I know you should have been here, brother. God, I wish you were here.
Not to thank me for coming on, you know. Hey, this is the goal, my man. This is the passion. This is what it's all about. This is what we live for. It's a dream. It's a dream becoming reality. And 2022, the sky is the limit throughout the universe because we're taking over, baby. Slowly but surely. It's baby steps, but we will accomplish the goal just like the birds come out tomorrow and kick butt and take names and knock Brady in the next offseason.
Exactly. But listen, thanks everyone who tuned in. Thanks everybody who hung around. Appreciate it. Again, there's got to be just on the outside of this fence here, on the other side, and the cars are still rolling in. The bikes are still coming in. I would say the AMC Theater over here is going to have a hell of a time trying to get anybody on the inside because that theater is probably going to be taking over Eagles fans here.
Maybe Eagles Nation can just take over AMC and pile everybody in there and get that Eagles chant. Roll those kegs in. Keep those grills fired up. Crack the kegs and fire up the grills, brother. Because we're taking this mother tomorrow. Guarantee.
It'll get everybody fired up.
Mortgage on.
No, we'll be able to get everybody fired up here, but obviously I can see the fanatic there taking a break as the guys are up and running around. Trey Thomas working his way to the outside here, and thank God Trey Thomas coming down again. Thanks to Mark Farzetta. Fuji, obviously you reach out to Mark and make sure that we can get Trey Thomas out here. And again, local, I mean, we're probably about 20 minutes apart from each other, honest to God. That's both neighbors, so it'd be next week when we won't have the audio lag delay or anything else like that. So that should be good. But listen, to everyone who tuned in today, we appreciate it. Of course, you'll be able to hear the download, even though it will be 3 hours long. But obviously, this was bonus coverage out here. So we got the party started about 1:30. The party continues till 7 o'clock, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be way after 7 o'clock by the time it's all said and done here in Tampa. So thanks to Philly the South. Thank you to Tampa Joe's. Obviously, again, to the Philly Pretzel Factory, the Hooters, 97.5 The Fanatic, and obviously Philly Sports Trips and PhillySportsTrips.com.
Well, tomorrow I'll be on with Maddie Rogers. Joe McGraw just texted me. She's going to be on tomorrow, so we'll be on. Us three will be on. Big Rob will be behind the glass. Tune in 11:30 tomorrow, Broad Street South, episode 109. Eagles Bucks pregame. And tomorrow I will be down South Philly at South House with the guys from Edge of Philly Sports, Big Al, Tom Kelly, and Joe will be breaking down the post game. Everybody tune in. Everybody come on out. See us. Go Birds and Angel. Thanks for, it's amazing this was all put together in a short time. Thanks for Mark Farzetta. Thanks to this guy Josh for bringing in Trey Thomas. We do appreciate it. Thanks to Vince, PSG, Mike Goodwin, Mike Klein, and Philly of the South.
Yep, thank you everybody, because believe me, it couldn't have happened as Vince said it earlier. Thankfully we're able to do what we did here to make sure we got everybody on for this happening. I'm forever grateful. This is one of those things, as much as the Super Bowl is fresh still in my mind from 2017. This right here with all these people, I feel like I am back home. So I'm, as a chance starts on the other side of the fence here, but honest to God, this feels like I'm back at the link. And I said to everybody as we promoted it all week long, if you want to be at the link, this is where you need to be, right here, right now at Tampa Joe. So thankfully, with Mike Goodwin has been on with us for for a year and a half that we've been on. We've been friends, though, for the past 3 years, as he was the one able to gamble with us. And now I think that gamble finally ends up paying off for him. And again, I see a lot of familiar faces that I've seen since I've been down here. But Fuji, the only thing, honest to God, I was missing down here was you. And I hope come March, even though it's going to be a different crowd. It'll be a Phillies crowd compared to Eagles crowd. But, man, I really hope that you make it down here in March.
Hey, I'll be 50 at the end of March, so maybe that's the bash we just kicked the hell off, baby. I want to thank Rick Marcus. I'm going to be reaching out to him sooner than later. This was an amazing show, Angel. Thanks for, of course, you know our flow. The camaraderie we have. It doesn't get any better than this working with you. You gave me the chance. You took the chance on me. Just by a couple Philly sports updates. Boom, here we are. Kicking off 2022 with a bang. And even tomorrow, the Birds kicking some Buccaneers' butt is even more bittersweet.
Exactly. Hey, listen.
And I bet that party will go into Monday morning after that big win. Everybody will still be rocking Tampa Joe's and beyond. The All Eagles Nation.
This is going to be like a major sleepover. I would tell you right now, because none of these folks are going to go home tonight. I can guarantee it. This crowd will just pour into the tailgate party tomorrow and then pour into Ray J, because this is a hostile takeover.
Sea of Green will be taking over. Eagles Nation from all walks of life, the whole universe will be there. Those Bucs fans will be in a state of shock to see the gang green just bring it tomorrow. We're taking over. We took over Jacksonville. We took over Minnesota. We take over every place the Eagles Nation goes. That we are the best fans in the NFL. We're the most passionate, the most knowledgeable, the most diehard. Nobody knows any better than the Philadelphia Eagles fan. Guarantee.
Listen, I think the most proper way of doing this, and probably end up blowing out my ears here, but before we end up signing off, you got to at least hear this chant that everyone knows and everyone's familiar with. So let me play this before we end up signing off.
Fight, Eagles fight. Score a touchdown, 1-2, 1-2. Hit them low, hit them high. Watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly. On the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S.
We hope you have a great time wherever you are. If you're in to watch the game, please be safe. Please be well. Obviously, if you're down here at Tampa, make sure you're taking care of business. Take care of your bartenders and the waitresses while you're down here. And make sure you take care of everyone on the outside. And more importantly, make sure you do take care of yourselves. So do the best that you possibly can. What's up, Claire? Joe. That was Joe. I'll tell you afterwards. She normally sits on the inside. But Joe Lackman just passed by. One of the longest, probably tenured fans and come down here from Philly to South. So, but again, Trey Thomas just finished up his last broadcast here over 97.5 The Fanatic. It's me again great to have him back on here come next week. So we'll hear from Trey come next week when we're back in the home studio and everything else. But again, thanks everyone. I see one last comment coming in here, and thank God everybody put up with me here because the echo would have been it would have been tough, but
Rick Marcus.
Love that energy.
Rick, it was a pleasure meeting you. I'll be talking to you sooner than later, baby. Because I will be coming down to Tampa. Stat. Boom,
Yes,
I'm there, baby.
Well, listen, to everyone, once again, thank you to all our sponsors. Once again, Philly Sports and Trips. We thank Tampa Joe's, along with LGDirect.net. We thank you, Larry, for being on with us as well and the naming rights to the studio there. Normally, I always say that we're live at the LG Direct Sales Solution Studios, but today we're down here live at Tampa Joe's. Everyone, enjoy the game tomorrow. Please tune in tomorrow at 11:30 with Fuji and Matt Rogers representing out of Virginia. Enjoy the rest of the night, and go Birds.
Go Birds.